You are now listening to Nerd Rage Radio with Bobby Skullface and Adam Russman. This podcast is intended for mature audiences only and may not fit with your sensitive sensibilities. You may be a victim of meaningless outrage, or you may, in fact, be a big ninny pants. If this is the case, please feel free to turn it off now. This is no country for Ninny McNinny pants. So crack open the Mountain Dew. Make sure the cheese doodles are super fresh. We're in your mother's basement. It's Nerd Rage Radio.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 203 of Nerd Rage Radio. And once again, we have Skeleton Crew, just a different group of skeletons. I am here. Joe is not here. Joe is at work. And Adam is not here because he quit the show. We're kind of running with that for a while. At least until he's back. He may have quit the show at this point. I don't know. And we have Chris here.
What's up, party people?
So, catch people up. What's been going on with you recently?
Oh, man.
That you're allowed to talk about.
So, I had been so busy, Bobby. I'm just so busy.
You are very busy.
I've missed lots of podcasts.
How do you make your way through the world being so busy?
18-hour days.
Yeah, is that how you do it?
So, yeah.
Did you get a black eye, too?
You know, it's funny. I had a, I don't know what it was. Kelly said it was a sty.
Oh, a sty.
And it looked like I had a black eye. But what was funny is last week I was in New York working and took Kelly with me because the kids are in Alabama, you know, where I'm from. Till the end of next week. The end of this week, they'll be back Monday. But nonetheless. So,
time flies.
Dude, it does. I know. It's like, fuck, we just put them on an airplane yesterday. It just started all of a sudden Monday afternoon. It started itching, and then it started swelling up. And she got me some eye drops. It was like drainage. And it was gross, but it was a lot more obvious than it is now. It's very
it's subtle now.
Yeah,
you just look like a Wu-Tang member,
right? Right.
You know, why did they all do that? Like they'd all like drop one eyelid. Like,
I don't know, but I mean, I was full on Forrest Whitaker.
yeah.
I looked like I was looking for Gin so. My eye was like,
the rebellion.
But it was so funny. Like, I didn't say anything to anybody. I went and met with some people for work, and like they just were looking dead at my eyes. And like, you know, nobody asked or anything. I'm like, my wife. I just need you to ask one time because my wife she's harming me in my sleep.
Leia gets them all the time. Stop.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what it was. Kelly gave me some eye drops, and it kind of wandered away, but. I traveled for work last week. This week I'm actually on vacation, so Kelly and I are going on a quick little jaunt this week.
In Busch Gardens.
To the Busch Gardens in Williamsburg.
Dude, you guys go to Busch Gardens a lot. You and the Russmans.
Got to get that value out of that family pass there, Chief.
There's no fucking way, dude. There's no way I could do it.
It's not my decision. I have enjoyed going.
Yeah. It's a good once-a-year trip for me.
You're about right.
Yeah.
This will be... if you look at the price of the individual tickets versus how many times we've gone, we've got our money's worth.
Sure.
Because it's like, if you just go once, and that's the thing, she was like, if we're going to go more than once in the next year, it's worth it to buy the pass. So, and we've gone, I guess this will be for the fourth time.
I feel like if you don't need the map, you've attended the park too much.
Right. Let's go to France and get those crepes.
Dude,
that you like so much, honey.
They make them with Bisquick, but you're going to love it.
They're great. They're a little fluffy. They're just fucking pancakes, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to go down there. I think we're going to go to like the historical bit of Williams because we never take the kids to that. You know, like I don't want to look at how they make butter.
Yeah.
Or whatever they're churning.
Yeah. Dude, and some of the people I told, you know, they're too intense. You know, have you seen any redcoats, sir?
Exactly.
Oh, it's like, God, stop, please stop.
I just actually watched an episode of Parks and Rec, which is one of my all-time favorite shows, which was Patton Oswalt. You know who Patton Oswalt is? He's a stand-up comedian.
I think the name sounds familiar.
You'd recognize him. He's been in a million things, and he does voices for all sorts of stuff, too. Mm-hmm. But he was on there and played. There was some debate about tearing down some historical, and it was one of those kind of places. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, churning butter and all that, and they had some competition to see who could last in the house the longest.
Oh, that sounds riveting. It was riveting.
Let me tell you.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing? That of course you can speak about.
Well, yeah, I had a big project I had to finish. It got done, so hopefully.
And you can talk about that next week.
Hopefully next week I'll be able to talk a little bit more about.
Yeah.
Well, I've been so busy, Bob.
But you've been very busy. I'm
busy.
just hoping that you're not going to be too busy next week to not talk about it.
Yeah, I think I'm okay next week.
Yeah.
I have to double check my busy calendar.
Right.
I have two calendars.
The
calendar
regular standard and the busy one.
In the busy calendar.
Busy. It's bees. It's just busy bees all through 12 months.
Yeah, I watch the Bee movie every day. It really keeps me focused.
Bumblebee,
Right.
Spelling Bee, with the little girl
Hey,
that went through.
speaking of Transformers,
Oh, have you heard?
Yeah,
Have you heard?
I've
though?
heard.
Have you gotten a PM? If you haven't got a PM yet, allow me to be the first.
I think I got plenty of PMs. Yeah,
The unicorn is coming.
the unicorn. I cannot believe they're going to make a $600 unicorn, but it's so exciting.
But your Marvel Legend Deadpool can fit inside. It's like a Trojan horse. The belly opens up, and your Deadpool can go inside it and storm.
That's
the
actually what
wall.
I want, Hasbro. I want a Trojan horse unicorn.
So do you want
holds-
to talk about that at all? I feel
We
like
can.
I'm gonna be talking about it till I'm fucking blue in the face.
I'm sure you are.
But this is the first day it came out, and for the Patreon folks, by Thursday it'll be old news, I'm sure. But
Yeah, there'll be something else to bitch. Well, is SDCC will be out to bitch about by then.
yeah, it's gonna be a big show next week. I hope we have plenty of time. We might have to schedule the shows accordingly. Because news has been dry as fuck. It always gets this way,
Right,
exactly.
exactly.
All right, so
real quick
Yeah.
from a and this if I had been Hasbro and I knew what this past weekend was, the unofficial Transformers
yeah,
convention, or
drop it then.
drop that shit in their lap. Remember they did that a couple years ago with Masterpiece
Mm-hmm.
Megatron. They're like, oh, you nerds like robots, sprinkledy.
Yeah, that was Takara. I wonder if they even knew. Like, I wonder if TFCon is even on Takara's
I just
radar.
can't believe. Oh, and Takara's radar.
Yeah, because that was the
Yeah,
MP
yeah.
Megs.
You'd think. I mean,
I don't know. I just don't know. I don't. Maybe I can.
Well,
I can see it both ways.
I mean, from what I've heard,
Yeah.
all the designers, official and unofficial,
Mm-hmm.
know each other because they probably went to school or grew up in the same
Hang out at the same
computer
bar.
cafes. Yeah, yeah, drinking those shots of Energon.
they laugh at like the ex-transbots guy when he comes in the room. Like, oh look, it's Joe.
yeah,
What's up, Joe? Still knocking him dead, are you?
oh my goodness.
Have Joe pick up the tab. So I have a decent quick wit, but sometimes like I'll think about something, I'll be like, oh, that's a good little joke. I'm gonna save that joke,
Right.
For And my wife has actually gotten irritated recently because I told her, because there was some bit that we were doing, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna use this for Nerd Rage, like. She was like, what do you mean use it for Nerd Rage? And I was like, sometimes you come up with little bits and you're like, yeah, I'm going to deliver that. And sometimes like I'll practice on her and people at work to like get it where I want it. And she was like, it disgusted her.
Really?
Like she'd been living a lie or something. She was like, I thought you just had it like off the top of your head. I was like, sometimes I do, but sometimes I like have an idea and then I'll work on it a bit. And she's like, oh, lame. Just a lame joke, whatever. So I have this joke. And I'm not. This isn't even a Patreon joke. This is like when I got people at the house and I know I can get them at the house.
Yeah.
But I got this one that like came to me because it was some PMs and stuff. But I was gonna say that I have. I love that Keith, like in theory, I've never seen him. He was at TFCon Chicago, the first one.
Okay.
But like the rumor about him is that he's like obsessed with American culture.
He loves the NBA, like basketball.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the guy from Korea. Like just like like the guy that like loves Dennis Rodman and shit. And, like the Harlem Globetrotters.
yeah.
Kim Jong-un.
Listen, Bobby Skullface said that.
I'm just saying.
Christopher
like,
Pinger did not make that correlation at all.
But he loves like he was wearing like a cowboy hat at like he has like Elvis Presley glasses, and like I just imagine in my head this is like it comes up like a thick accent, like how they partners.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
But I don't know any of that to be true. Yeah, so go ahead. Unicron or
Yeah, we were talking about. Let me get through my nerd week real quick, and then we can. Yeah, I think Unicron's worth talking about. So I did manage to watch some TV. I watched Chernobyl. The series, yeah, which all 5 episodes, Bob. I'm real busy, but 5 I
you
can
got him
squeeze
in. You got him in.
Yeah, and Stranger Things, I managed to get that knocked out too.
Here, it's better than the second season. So everybody kind of says the second season's trash and that this one is better.
I didn't think the second season was trash, but I'll tell you, and I've talked about this a lot, the way we binge stuff, like, I watched the recap and like, oh, okay, I didn't remember any of this shit.
I was going to raise a question also about like Stranger Things.
Did you see Stranger Things?
No, I watched the first season and I was good.
Okay, I didn't know if you were on board for those.
I think it was fine. I just there's something that seemed culture vulture-y to me about it.
Really?
Yeah, and then also like I hate a nondescript monster. Like I hate like just like you can't get I need an iconic villain. Like it's a big deal for me.
Well, then you definitely don't get this in season 3.
Yeah, I heard it's worse in that regard.
It is, yeah. It's something more organic for you to hate a little bit.
Yeah, it's just not my bag. But I think that I wonder sometimes if shows that like get this kind of running start that I don't think is necessarily superb, like not in a Breaking Bad way where it's like, whoa, that was fucking well done.
Yeah,
I wonder if it is something about the way that it is digestible all at once that gives it something more.
A mythos.
I wonder if people would commit to that show.
If it was on Tuesday nights on ABC,
Correct.
right after, yeah.
I don't know. I
don't either, but that's not the world we live in anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of broadcast television shows I watch, but I don't watch them on broadcast. I don't even know them when the majority of them come on. I just know that my Hulu will occasionally, things you watch, new episodes of these. Oh, cool.
Because you can't even judge it successfully in terms of financial success anymore because it's just whether or not the next season gets funded. Where it used to be like halfway during a season, the views would drop off so hard that they'd be like, oh, it's canceled. This is the last season, or whatever.
Right.
You don't even get that anymore, so you don't really know. It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, even if you look at broadcast television, has changed because it used to be, a show came on in August and it ran till May. And now a lot of the shows that are on broadcast TV, especially seems to be these hour-long or 44-minute, whatever,
right.
Dramas or procedurals or whatever, they'll do 13 episodes. So they'll run till Christmas, and then they take Christmas break, which they never play new stuff anyways.
Right.
And then like January, February, they'll roll another show out. And then it'll run 13 episodes. So it's almost like they're ordering smaller with their fingers crossed that these 13 will do well enough. I don't know if 26 would go. Because that seems to be the order numbers for that kind of stuff.
Netflix is reporting record-breaking numbers for this season 3 of what you call.
Well, there was 2, and I didn't go back and look. I don't remember how long the last 2 seasons are. This is only 8 episodes. And they average in length from, I think, about 45 to, I think the last episode's like an hour 12 maybe, but it flies by. I mean, to me, that's the mark of a good show or movie is if I'm like, holy shit, this is over already because of the pacing and the way it's put together. Now I will tell you, like the last episode, there was some stuff they put in there to develop the closest thing they had to a villain, but I just think it was so slow and draggy. It's like, what ends up happening to this character, who the fuck cares anyways, because it doesn't make any difference. I guess it pulls in your heartstrings a little bit, and they played those games a little bit. So it was a lot of because I guess those boys are 13, 14 now in the story,
so they're starting to come of age,
and things are changing, and there's girls, and not everybody's ready to be in that world.
That phase in your life of transitioning or being obviously not you, but being amongst like a transitioning group of peers.
Absolutely.
Like where they're going into other things and you kind of feel left behind with your comic books and your toys.
So I'll tell you a great story about that. So I remember I didn't go to a huge middle school. And this school actually was K through 8. So I think I started there in, fourth grade. It's fourth grade. We moved when I was in the fourth grade. So I went 4th through 8th with the same kids. New kids come and people go, how that is. But it wasn't a huge, I want to say our 8th grade had like 45 people in it.
Wow.
And sometimes they put us all in the same classroom. Shout out to Alabama education. But I remember in the 7th grade, I was still playing with toys, collecting toys, whatever you want to call it. Right. And, some of the guys who played sports were, G.I. Joe, oh, God. I never remember this kid. His name was Tony. He was new to the school that year, and always, I guess if you have that vibe, you have that vibe, because it always cracked me up that oh, you're the new kid. Well, we're just going to say you're cool now, and you run with the cool kids or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember he said, man, I can't believe you play with those still. I'm going to bring you all mine just to get rid of them. Like, okay, score. So this dude brought me, it was that year had come out, the Snake Eyes, the Storm Shadow, and the Jinx, and several other ones that were like around the movie time.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, okay, you play with toys until you walked in this fucking door at this school, dude. But I mean, I distinctly remember that, and you know, I did lay off of that kind of stuff for a bit in high school, but you know, I found the right people that were still into it. So you know, we were collecting comics and fucking started collecting toys and shit again in high school.
Yeah, I think I almost feel like I had different groups of friends for different things. You know, like
I mean, that's very true as well.
Yeah, like I had like these buddies that were kind of like Adam and them were like still into this type of shit. So like we still hung out and painted Warhammer or whatever we did, and then these group of friends were into, you know, drinking and smoking and fighting around the world. So I would hang out with them for that, and then, you know, these are the music people, and
I mean, to an extent, I guess we all, even today, I mean, like,
yeah,
you know, I mean, we all have work friends,
right,
and that line doesn't necessarily blur very often. I mean, none of my friends at work do I ever talk to about any of this stuff, because they're like,
no.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, no, I talked to mine about it, but I can tell when I'm reaching
their limits.
Yeah, like when like I can see they're starting to, it's like a glass glaze over their eyes, and I'm like, okay, we've reached our point. But you know, Adam and I kind of talked about this. A lot of times, I end up having people come up to me as like, you know, the great guru of like, you know, I just watched Far From Home, and can you explain this? You know?
Is that the one with the dogs where they get lost?
Yes.
You know, what is that movie?
Homeward Bound.
Oh, sure. I don't know why I just tied that into that. Yeah, I've got. I mean, there's a couple people that work in my organization. Like one of our guys that works in our pricing department he's super into all this stuff. I don't think he collects, but like he reads comics like a maniac. And you know, anytime I talk to him, we always talk about the movies that are coming out or whatever. So, you know, then there's some people like my soon to not be my boss. We always talk about Star Wars and she likes the Marvel stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, just anything like that. So
except they're like, can you come up and explain this part of Endgame? And I'm like, the directors and the writer can't explain that part of Endgame.
That's right. Nobody can. It's
it'll explain itself later.
Yeah, it's
the blip. I mean, that's what they should do. Is they should just, in my opinion, now, like, you know, as they keep continuing, just iron out what it is, fill in the holes as they need to, and then keep it moving.
Right.
I wish you would have seen Far From Home, because it would have been nice to talk to you about it.
I started watching.
You've been busy.
I've been Bobby. I've been so busy.
I mean, it's not 8 episodes of Stranger Things, but you've been very busy.
Well, listen, after I got done with the project, I had committed to basically the month of July to not commit to having anything finished, to have any projects due, which is nice. Although it's all I did go build something yesterday because I was like, I got to make shit. So that's why I actually have a little time. And then we actually almost went and saw it yesterday, but I'm like, you know, we didn't. And I had a copy at home, but it was like, this isn't that great.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go. We may go see it this week sometime. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm kind of antsy that I haven't been. I'm glad I haven't been spoiled yet. So.
Yeah. It's. I don't even know if there's anything to spoil.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I guess one of the first post scene.
Okay.
Is worth spoiling, but the rest of it is kind of like, it's probably what you expect.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't listen to you guys talk about it. I pretty much kept my head down. And it's funny because I'm normally one of the first people to see this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So even just scrolling through YouTube, I'm like, what all this means and all the Easter eggs. I'm like,
it's nothing till Joker.
Oh, there's nothing else until, and that's what?
October.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you're wrong. Hobbs and Shaw comes out August 2nd. The first spin-off movie in the Fast and Furious franchise.
Fuck out of here.
I've already got my 3D. Actually, I'm going to the 4D IMAX.
Good.
It shakes my seats and shit.
Good. We had that discussion. I don't know if you caught it. It got, you know, oddly heated for a minute last week, but about the financial success versus whether or not a movie is better conversation. And I don't subscribe to that train of thought whatsoever. But it's funny because I went back afterwards and I was like, well, because he said that, you know, this one was number 25 and this is, you know, and I went back and looked at the list, like, you know, and I was like, oh, there's some things on here that purposefully weren't mentioned.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's like, you know, if you were like, look at this, you're like, oh, okay, well, then Fast and the Furious is a better film than Goodfellas. And
absolutely.
And I was like, oh, dude, I was like, Last Jedi is the 12th best movie of all time.
That's right. 12th best of all time.
But it was it was interesting. Conversation.
Ended up kind of accidentally, and I'll tell you why, watching a movie last night. It's a Netflix movie. It's got Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler in it. I believe it's called Murder Mystery.
Perfect.
So, and it's one of those things that just keeps on popping up. The first thing, as soon as you turn on Netflix, it shows you a little bit about it. So Kelly had said, hey, do you want to watch that Adam Sandler thing on Netflix? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I put it on, it's on. We're both, on our computers or whatever, doing some stuff. And it plays for like 10 minutes. And she says, is this the stand-up? Well, since they're establishing plot and characters, I'm going to assume it's not. Is that what you wanted to watch? She's like, yeah, but we've already started this, so let's just finish it.
Right.
And it wasn't as Adam Sandler-y as I expected it to be.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's always nice when they're not. Anger management, I'd put in that pocket.
Yeah, he wasn't quite as up to 11.
No.
He was more of a subdued character. I mean, it was fine. It was entertaining. It was...
Actually, I don't think he's super Adam Sandler-y in Happy Gilmore. Like, if you go back and watch it, he plays that... Yeah, he has his moments.
Well, he's not. It's not Billy Madison.
Correct. He plays that character pretty straightforward.
He does. Yeah, other than the fact that he's a hockey guy playing golf, it's nothing.
No, I mean the fucking concept of the movie is ridiculous.
Right,
but just the character that he plays is not. It's not Happy Gilmore. It's not Glitch. It's not some of these other like more animated.
Right. It is more of a low key than some of his other stuff. And Rob Schneider's not in it at all, yelling, "You can do it!" Like he seems to be in every movie. It was funny because he normally has a pretty solid cast of characters, right? And I don't know if his Netflix deal didn't get all those guys in, but like Stephen Root's not in it, and those other guys that are always,
I wonder if the band broke up.
I don't know. You think that? I don't know. You think playing backup bass in that band would be pretty worthwhile? And the funny thing is, I don't know any of these guys' names, but like. You've seen Grandma's Boy, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course.
The guy that
I love fucking Grandma.
I can't believe you came on my mom. Not the guy with the car bed, but the main character. I have no idea what his name is.
Yeah.
But he's been in like every Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
And then the other guy that's like the surfer dude in that movie.
The stoner.
Yeah. And then the guy the African guy. I think he's in this new movie. He plays a general or something.
I love when he's like, dude, I'm way too stoned to go to the devil's house.
That movie's great.
That's my favorite line from Grandma's Boy.
That's an underrated movie.
It's great.
Opinion. I hate your face.
It was a fucking sweet car bed.
Think about getting robot legs. It's a risky operation, but it's worth it.
Dude, you've met that type of person.
I've met him. Yes.
Yeah. You're like,
oh, you're wearing a trench coat. Okay. Is it?
It's 98 degrees outside. I feel like I'm in the fucking strip club of Beverly Hills Cop.
It's not working for me, bud. What about you, Bobby? What have you been up to?
I watched the Apes movies with the kids. Like we watched all. We talked a little bit about it last week. Like together.
It was the anniversary of me and Tyler watching the third one the other day.
Oh, was it?
2 years, yeah.
That was that's still probably the most fulfilling movie going experience I've had in a very long time.
I need to sit down one day. I'm so busy. I don't know when.
Yeah, I don't know when it would be.
Maybe I'll like just listen to the audio. No.
yeah. But like it's those fucking movies are still great. Like I was worried that. Because I hadn't seen it in probably a year, and I was like, is this going to hold up? But yeah, they 100% still hold up.
I don't know if I've ever talked to you about this. What do you think about the old ones?
I love them.
You like them? Okay.
Yeah. The second, there's one I like the most, I think, it's the one where they're like, the apes are in prison in the beginning. Okay. Like, I think it's Conquest of Planet of the Apes.
I've seen the first one and bits and pieces of the third or the rest of them, and I couldn't tell you what they were.
So the first one's kind of fine. The claim to fame of the first one is the twist. Right?
Yeah,
it's like one of
the Charlton Heston.
The second one I hate. Well, I don't hate, but the second one is my least favorite, where it's like this underground cult that's like been worshiping the nuke, like this. So it was like a nuke that caused this fallout, or whatever, and like there's like this cult of mutants that like live underground and they like worship the nuke.
Interesting.
So yeah, there's some interesting shit to that, but it's a little far left to center. And then the third one I think is Conquest. I think that's when they're like in jail and like the humans are kind of taking back control, and that's when it starts getting good again. And then the last one is good, but like there's some shit to the last one, and I can't remember it, but like if you look up the information of it, like where it was supposed to go would have been amazing, but it ended up being just kind of fine. but they had some studio shit, and I think the health of one of the guys that was in charge. There was like a number of things that happened that changed the direction of the fourth one.
And what about the Mark Wahlberg version? Are you a fan of it?
No, but I do like Tim Roth in that fucking movie.
I haven't
like,
seen it so long, I don't even remember.
he plays the chimp, like the lead chimp.
I just remember Michael Clark Duncan was in it.
He played the gorilla.
Yeah.
I think that I think Tim Burton. It's funny because sometimes I think that he understands things in a way that people don't. I don't think he understands that franchise at all.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I totally forgot something.
Saw Dumbo.
I didn't, but you're close. My wife loves Beetlejuice, and I went to my first Broadway play of Beetlejuice.
How was that?
She loved it.
Good.
I'll tell you, Bobby, of all the Broadway plays I've seen this year, it is one of them. I honestly, if I had seen Beetlejuice all the way through, it had been so long ago I didn't remember anything about it. So we actually watched it. I was very busy, but I did find some time late in the evening
to watch another movie. Basically, you're busy watching shows and movies. Is what it was.
Maybe busy schedule. So I watched the movie, and then I'm not a big fan of musicals, and Kelly even had
How does
some
it hold
complaints.
up?
What's that? The movie? Oh, it doesn't.
Yeah.
In
my head, it doesn't.
Honestly, it reminds me a lot of Pee-wee's Playhouse. Like the visuals.
Yeah.
I mean, the big snake monster and Sandworm, and his makeup is just trash. And I think it's kind of supposed to be that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Marilyn Phil, I'm really sorry because I know you're a
he's
huge Beetlejuice fan. Although there's no dinosaurs.
He texted me today about what, and I was like, "This is going to take you by surprise, I'm sure. So please take a seat." But I have heard.
Yes.
And then he said, "Oh, sorry. I just wanted to be another person to fucking fuck with you about it." And so I sent like a whole bunch of like the emojis there. And he's like, "Hope I didn't ruin your day." And I don't know if that's him being a little sassy, or if he was like, if he was being sincere. So I was like, "Not my day. You're just ruining my morning."
It's funny. But we went to a neat little restaurant in Hell's Kitchen that Kelly found, and went to the show, and of course it's pouring down rain when we come out, and I had fun adventures getting back to where we're staying. But it was neat. I've never been to I've been at plays before, but never a Broadway play. And,
right.
It was more of a Beetlejuice is obviously the villain in that movie, but they really don't make him out to be the villain.
Right.
And it's a lot of
because he's lovable.
Right. And the guy who
played
portrayed him did a great job.
Good. That's key.
It is. And the young lady or woman, I'm not real sure who played, is it Lydia, the little girl?
Yeah.
She sang a lot.
Did Lil Wayne come out for the 6 foot, 7 foot?
No, I thought about it. They actually did. They did that song.
I'm sure.
No, I thought about Lil Wayne when that came out.
That song is rocking.
It is. It is.
Dude, I have to shamefully admit, I don't know, shamefully is the right word. He's a talented gentleman. He's just never been my cup of tea, but I'm in love with a Chris Brown song. It's like on his...
You like that one?
Red.
I'm sure I've heard it.
It's on this new album, Indigo or whatever. I can't get enough of it. I probably played it 30 times yesterday. I can't get enough of it.
There's a song, Can't Get Enough.
By him?
No, it's by J. Cole, actually. I will tell you, Wayne is somebody who I thoroughly enjoy his music. And you listen to his shit years later and go, holy shit, I didn't catch that. Because he's so clever in his shit.
But sometimes it's stupid.
Well, Eminem's the same way.
Yeah,
Eminem's sometimes it comes across as corny. There's a song called Mona Lisa that he did with Kendrick Lamar recently.
M?
No, I'm sorry, Wayne.
Okay,
yeah, that's it's very, very good, and I like it. I listen to it a good bit, and it's a story. And I'm always been a very, very big fan of narrative. Although I told you that, and you made me listen to a horrible Joe Budden song. But
oh yeah, there's that line that he says, "Real G's move in silence like lasagna," and I was like, "This is dumb. That's a dumb line." I wanted to.
I like that line.
I wanted to call them and be like, "Hey, not okay." Just hang up.
I thought that was clever. I digress.
That's okay.
But yeah, Beetlejuice. There you go.
Yeah. So did Planet of the Apes. Still fucking great. Jaina like loved it. She's like, this is my favorite trilogy of all time. Like she's seen the Batman trilogy, Star Wars original, Star Wars prequels, Lord of the Rings, and the Hobbit trilogies. And she was like, this is by far my favorite.
Wow.
And she was like, and oddly enough, it's the only one I didn't want to watch. And she was like, I'll do it just to do it. But
I can't get my kids to sit down and watch anything. I just won't do it.
She loved it.
That's good.
Let's see what else. Got a couple figures. I finished the diorama that we looked at, the oil rig.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's okay. And I'm working on another diorama of Palpatine's office that's has I think a lot of potential. And I'm going to put carpet on it. Ooh. And like I'm gonna have a lot of bells and whistles for that one.
Have you figured out what you're using for your carpet yet? Because I can tell you what to use.
Well, yeah, I'd love for you to just
felt.
tell me. Oh, okay. Well, I was probably going to get something along this line.
Yeah. Just use felt. I use felt and spray adhesive. I put it on the back of the felt and then lay it down, and it works fine.
Good.
No reason to even paint underneath it or anything. Just
right.
The challenge may be that your steps may be a little challenging for that.
Well, so
might give it a little tool that you can like.
Well, no, because they're not on the steps fully.
Okay.
Like so the I looked at it. The office itself is like stone, and then the carpet is like cut to give a stone border to everything, including the steps.
Okay.
So there's like a little square on each step, like a triangle for lack of a better term, and then
right.
So yeah, I can't wait because that one's gonna and it'll finish off a whole nother shelf.
There you go,
which is always nice.
Yeah.
Once I have them all done and lit and everything, I think I'm gonna get little plaques.
Oh, like say where they go and where it is,
and like drill them in to the side of the wood and like whatever. Let's see. Watched more of Big Little Lies, dude. I fucking love this show.
What is this?
It's a show on HBO. It's a like heavy character driven drama. It's the first season is about these 4 women, and they live in California somewhere. The location in California probably means something to Californians.
Okay,
but all it means to me is that they're rich, and they act as such. And one of them is married to an abusive husband. They get into this argument. Mm-hmm. A 5th girl who's like not part of the crew, but she's like around, sees it, runs up and pushes him off of her. It ends up pushing him down a flight of steps, and it kills him.
Oh boy!
So
is this a docudrama or just
no?
Just okay,
just a complete drama. And the whole movie is backlit against their interrogation with the police over what happened that night. Well, then the second season picks up with they all lied, and the second season picks up with the character that pushed him down the steps, dealing with the guilt of it, like the PTSD of it, and like why the fuck did we lie about it? Like we should have just told the truth. It was self-defense. It was she's like, well, now I'm living with this shit, and I can't so like.
She's having a hard time processing it.
Yeah, and I think the rest of the friends are worried that she's gonna fucking start talking. And not that they're gonna kill her too. That's not who these characters are, but they just don't want to get in trouble.
Right.
So all that's going on, and then simultaneously, the woman who was married to the abusive man, his mother, played by Meryl Streep, has moved to town to help with the children during this time of crisis.
Oh boy!
But she knows something's not right.
Yeah.
So she's trying to get to the bottom of it too, and it's just really well done. Like I can't fucking take my eyes off the thing. Like I just want to I want to binge it.
Yeah.
But my wife keeps falling asleep, or I'll be exhausted and I'll fall asleep or whatever. Like we can't get any further.
How many episodes is it?
I don't know because it's a weekly show.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Bastards.
It's HBO.
Yeah, true.
And but I think there's like 6 or 7 episodes out now. But they usually do about 13 episodes. I think.
Right.
I can't get enough of it. It's fucking great. It's brilliant.
I never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's because it's not something that would hit our radar necessarily. It hit my wife's radar, and then she made me watch it, and I was like, "Holy fuck, this is good!"
Wow.
Just well written.
Backtracking again for a minute, Chernobyl. I'll be honest. I know I would imagine it's factual. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think I really understood how nuclear energy was created, or nuclear power created.
Right.
Energy until I watched that.
Yeah, I don't think I ever cared to learn.
Me either.
I just accepted it as a thing.
It's cleaner burning coal, it sounds like, because it's all producing steam to turn turbines, right?
Yeah, it's that's a show that I have very mixed. That's the show I have very mixed feelings about. Like in general, like
the way it was portrayed and everything.
No. Like I've talked about it on here before, and I don't want everybody loves it but me. So I don't want to be the guy that like always talks about the thing that everybody loves. I love the first 3 episodes. Mm-hmm. Like was obsessed. Was watching YouTube documentaries about it. Like listening to the show's podcast. The 4th episode I think is really good. Also. But it kind of, to me, it kind of stands more independently of the original.
Which one was
the 4th one? Is the one with the dog. That they're killing all the dogs.
Yes.
And not just the dogs, but all the animals and shit.
Okay.
But it's a little bit of like a side story, to what is going on. It's like a slice of life, like
right.
And I dig that. I think that's cool. And then the last episode is the trial, and like I would have been good with all of that if that show was 13 episodes.
Right, but they took one of 6 episodes?
5.
Was it 5? Yeah, to tell that story.
Yeah, and like I just feel like it was wasted time because I wanted to know so much more about it.
I did shake hands with a guy this past week who's from Poland and watched the shit fall from the sky.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's surreal, man.
It is, man. If you think about it, I mean, that changed the chemistry of our world forever. That things are happening now that we don't even realize it because of all that getting released into the atmosphere. And who knows how many more sites like that there are in the world that are still just spewing out. There was something I think in Pennsylvania. Wasn't there a meltdown of some kind somewhere in Pennsylvania?
There was, but I don't think it was any. There's also this like nuclear power plant in Jersey somewhere. I think that's like the Mile River or whatever, where it's like sits up.
7 Mile Island, is that the one?
Maybe.
I don't know. Well, this guy from Poland, I would just kind of talking to him a little bit about, said I'd watch that, blah, blah, blah. And he said, yeah, there's one just down the road here. They don't talk about much, do they? Talking
Really?
about like whatever. I didn't look into it, but
yeah,
he said that shit's still melting into the ground.
I didn't even know the real story of Chernobyl. Like,
No,
I knew was that it was a thing because only from like people, like only from it being used in reference, like, like, oh man, this thing's falling down faster than Chernobyl, or like something like that. And I'd be like, well, whatever Chernobyl was, fell down or went left.
Yeah. I knew it was a nuclear accident.
I don't even think I knew. I can't remember now because I can't remember my life before the show at this point. But like,
Right.
I don't know if I knew that's what it was or not.
I mean, was it 84? I mean, I was 8 years old.
Yeah,
I
was 3.
I was not concerned with the news.
All I knew was Thriller. And
oh, so that's the thing. Like that. Wild Wild Country. Was it Wild Wild Country?
I
I've
clue.
never fucking heard of that. But
Never.
I mean, looking at it, it's like it was on the news every night.
Yeah.
I'm sure my parents. I should ask my parents. Do you know about?
I should ask my dad.
Do you know about?
He's like, yeah, I was a member. That would
Yeah.
fuck me up.
Yeah, my dad probably is not going to be. I
So
don't know, maybe that's why he traveled so much. He was going to do the good work.
fun story about my dad. So I called him during episode 200 to talk about my hemorrhoids.
I remember that.
Which are gone. They're gone, by the way.
Congratulations.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful thing. Ass eating season has returned. No, I'm just kidding. I'll divert real quick. Laura and I recently
Weird flex.
yeah. Laura and I recently were talking about like like just spicing up the sex a little bit. Like it's just gets a little stale from time to time, and like life and kids and podcasts and fucking like let's get one in and keep the day moving. So like we were like what are we doing? We shared a glass of wine and a dinner and talked about like what can we do. So we went outside and we like, well, let's make a list of things that we'd like to do. And then if we have this list, if we're ever like, what should we do? We can break out the list and, or maybe we'll just get our wheels thinking and whatever. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, you go first. She's like, gangbang. And no, she didn't say that. Just like, but we did come up with this list and like, it has been helping. Like we've been like incorporating little things and like, it's been, putting a little sauce on it, which has been nice. It's important for those that are listening that that have been with their spouse for a long time or haven't and plan on one day being with their spouse for a long time. Like keeping the sex interesting is important.
I concur.
Yeah. Moving back to
Your dad.
My dad. Sex, my dad. Things that I tie together.
Weird flex.
So I called him about the hemorrhoids about He
seemed very hesitant to talk about that. I will say
because he knows like is this a fucking show, like,
right?
So he's been like all like in my ass, so to speak, about it ever since. Like, he'll like call me up and be like, Bob, I've been reading about them, and I think you should have it. And I'm like, Dad, it's fine. It was just a bit. Like, I just wanted to have fun on the show. I thought it'd be funny to have you on. And he's like, well, you should really get it looked at because I'm reading here. That's, or he'll send me like a little document here and there. And have you considered prune juice? And I'm like, it's actually the opposite scenario, but it doesn't matter. But then, like, I guess I told him, I was like, look, they're gone. I got to tell them they're gone. Don't worry about it. It's gone. And so he sent me like a joke. He was like, why aren't they called asteroids? Am I right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a dad joke for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think what else I've done, if anything, over the course of the week. And I don't know if I have, other than the Dio, finishing the one Dio, starting the other. I'm caught up with reviews finally. My workspace shows it because it's a fucking disaster and out there. But everything I have has been reviewed at this point.
How are you feeling about the direction with the Star Wars stuff?
In terms of my channel?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good question. So it's... So on one hand, it's performing better than it ever has.
Okay.
On the other hand, still not performing. So the mall performed well. So I think that's more character driven.
Which mall was it?
The Archive, Black Series
Gotcha.
Archive.
Gotcha.
That did like 1,600 views. Like if I could get them to do that, I would be super content.
Right.
But rarely do they break 1,000. So I'm just going to keep at it and see what it does. I'm hoping to have my first Star Wars discussion video coming this week.
Okay.
And that's the one that I want to see how it does, because that's kind of where I want to go. And shout out to this dude, Andy, this Irish dude. I don't know why I had to say that. I gotta examine that a bit. I gotta qualify it somehow, like this Irish dude. But I've been talking to him a lot, and I actually met him. I posted something about Star Wars, and I'm defensive about it, like to a point.
Really? I haven't noticed.
So like and like at 100% to the outside world, like to the inside world, whatever. And it depends on what it is, right? Like Lenny sent me this video about, it was the sales pitch for Return of the Jedi, and it was trashing Return of the Jedi, but it was hysterical, like
Right.
It was
the pitch meeting or whatever?
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of those, actually.
Yeah, and it was just like, I mean, it was so true. It was like, so then what's going to happen is the Emperor is going to leak the plans to the Death Star to the Rebellion in order to lure them into a trap. And they're like, oh, okay, so it's going to be like a separate place. Like, no, he's going to give them the real place. Oh, okay, real place, but the plans aren't accurate. No, real place, real plan. It's like a good point, But so like all that kind of stuff, it's like I don't know, something about the spirit of it that's right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I posted something and it was like what I would expect from a fucking knucklehead, So I dug into him a bit. Like I went, like I think it was something about it might have been a diorama from The Last Jedi or something, and they posted like, oh shit movie. So I went to their page real quick, like, who is this motherfucker? They've hit my radar. Like you want me to know who you are?
Yeah.
I know now. And then like the Bumblebee movie was like the first thing that they had posted on their Instagram. So I went right back and I was like, you got fucking Bumblebee. Don't ever fucking talk to me about movies ever again. But he was like, he hit me up. He's like, dude, I was just joking. He's like, I'm a massive Star Wars fan. He's like, Last Jedi is one of my favorite movies. He's like, I just think it's funny how people get about that movie. And I was like, look, man, that's on me too. I got my claws out for that shit.
Right.
So we had this exchange. Well, he hit me up, and I think after I said it on the channel, that I forget how it came up that I was going to do more Star Wars stuff. And he hit me up and he's like, dude, I want to help. Like, what can I do? And I was like, well, look, we're trying to come up with ideas. And I was like, one of the things I want to do is I want to talk about this, and this, but I don't have time to do all the research. He's like, I'll do it.
That's awesome.
So like, he's been doing all this research and like sending me emails and like, so like, and I was like, what can I do to compensate? He's like, dude, I just like doing it. And I was like, well, look, if it ever changes, just let me know, because we'll work something out. Not that I can offer a whole lot, but
I'll tell you, a lot of these different podcasts and stuff that require research. I mean, there's even an idea I pitched you a while back and we never did anything with, but a lot of them use, and I don't want to call anybody, and I don't mean it derogatory, but they use an intern to pull the data, to pull it all together, and then you just read the copy or whatever. So, anybody out there that has an idea and wants to help and doesn't want to front it, face it in, at least, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Send them in. We'll get it.
So he has this one that he sent me for this one. I mean, it was so thorough that I hit him up and I was like, look, man, I was like, you can just relax because I'm going to get 3 or 4. This is 3 or 4 videos, you know, but it's for a heavier topic. So I don't want to throw people into the furnace with this.
Yeah.
I want to slowly walk down the hill hand in hand.
Top 10 stormtroopers.
No.
That's what Bobby's doing. Top 10 lists of Star Wars characters.
No.
Top 10 Jedis.
But I probably will do like wish lists and stuff like that, at some point. But I want to kind of walk like the frog in the boiling water, you know, where this just gradually getting hotter and hotter until you don't realize it anymore. Because what I really want to do is change the narrative.
Okay.
And like I want to there's people on my list that I'm going to reach out to that I know don't like for instance, it's just easy bait, but don't like The Last Jedi. But they can tell me exactly why they don't like it.
Right.
And I'm like, I get that. And you know, and usually they're like, but I love this. And sometimes even those things are the things that people point at as the problems.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like other things, side things. So like have those conversations so that it's balanced and we can have a discussion about it. But even that changes the narrative from worst, you know, anything like that. Or
the internet has led us into a half full mentality, or half empty rather, where it needs to be half full. And then find ways, you know, through like what you're saying. And look, I've said this before. I'll say it again. You changed my mind on
Luke,
on the whole, on The Last Jedi. Whereas, is it my favorite Star Wars movie? No, but right. I have a better understanding and appreciation. That's the word I'm looking for. I have a better appreciation of what the narrative was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was somebody I think that they responded to. Oh, it was to a Nerd Rage show last week. Oh no, it was to this Force Sensitive, the 3rd episode where. You know, they were talking about how Luke is like not a whiner, not a complainer. Like in Return of the Jedi, he never whines, never complains. And I'm like, actually, the examples that we used in the show were from Return of the Jedi.
Right.
You know, I'm endangering the mission. I shouldn't have come. Like I think he's quick to take self-blame. He's quick to. It's the opposite where like, you know, a lot of the world does this, and this. He always does this. It's on me. It's my fault. I fucked it up. I'm, you know, me.
Mm-hmm.
Never his mind on where he was, what he was doing. Anyway, but I think that I'm just gonna stick it out because I want to start making some jokes about it. You know, because people are like, man, this third party, especially after this TFCon, you know, which I told people was going to be telling.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, you know, this shit's not looking good.
Nope.
And I was like, y'all better start watching some Star Wars for me. You know, because it's just I don't know how much longer. I don't know how much longer the G1 third-party masterpiece stuff is going to be around.
Right.
Everything else is going to go.
And listen, I know this isn't that show, but I just want to pick your brain on this.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about those people who don't keep up with Transformers? There's a Masterpiece official Soundwave that's been out for 5-6 years now. How long has it been out? And Fans Toys had initially like their second release teased one. Mm-hmm. Well, now here we are all these years later, and they've redesigned it, and apparently are actually going to try to push it out to production. What do you think about that?
Which was their initial first fully transforming figure.
Mm-hmm.
It was
right.
It was the
trailer
one,
was the first.
Correct. So I think it's telling. I think it's telling of where they are mentally. I think that they're kind of their position right now. Fuck them.
Yeah. We're
going to do what we want, when we want, and we know that we have an audience that will support us. And I like, you know, everybody's like, it's such a odd dichotomy because people be like, oh, nobody's showing anything. Oh, Fans Toys is showing too much. You know, like
exactly.
It's such a strange thing,
dude. I tell you, I collect the mezcos and I'm involved in that and sell them and stuff. And it's feast or famine with them. It seems so. It's you know you show all these reveals and you don't put out anything, and then it's 5 figures this month.
Right.
I can't afford that.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. I mean, it's the same. I've noticed that across the board in hobbies. Really, it's feast or famine with a lot of these smaller companies.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know. They have a. See, I think that it's another one of those things. It's like this very It's the people that are complaining the loudest are the same ones that aren't buying it.
Right.
Because I think they're obviously doing well enough where they can ramp up. You know, they're the only ones ramping up. Everybody else is ramping down.
Or moving on.
Or moving on. You know,
so they've Fans Toys has stuck to the G1.
Masterpiece.
Yeah, masterpiece.
That's
stuff.
what they do. You know, and they don't bullshit with any of the other stuff. They don't dabble in any of the other stuff. They produce this
that we know of.
That we know of. But they just seemingly produce this one product. And you know what else? Like they stay out of the shits. Mm-hmm. That like all these companies, they war with each other. They battle each other. They hate each other. They directly compete with one another. And people obviously say that Fans Toys competes, but I don't think these people are as much on their radar as people think they are.
Yeah.
You know, I think they're just doing them. And like you never hear like there's so much drama associated with Make Toys now.
Right.
And you hear so much about it from stuff with Western distributors that's super shady that we've heard about, from stuff with Spence that's super shady that we've heard about, from the stuff with Sunstorm that apparently is a disaster.
Right.
You know, like and then the length of time it took for them to produce a crowd-funded thing with a mold they already had and a factory they already own. Like, there's just so much drama associated with them. And I like Make Toys.
They had to work in that run between the dildos.
But
the dildos and the coat hangers.
But all the drama, like the drama that you hear about with Fans Toys, is all from fans bitching. And I think it's not even fans. It's people that don't buy their shit.
That is a good point. You know, you don't hear any drama, any ill will. It's just, here's our product, we're going to make it, and it's going to sell out, and you're going to have to pay a late tax.
When you get as close to this stuff as I do, and that's not to say that I'm close. I'm very far removed.
So what are you saying, Bobby? Are you laying it out there finally?
What I'm saying is that if ground zero of third party is 1,000,000 miles away, most people are 1,000,000 miles away, and I might be 999,999 miles away. You know what I mean?
That's fair. You've done the work and made the relationships.
But just getting that much closer, you start having not connections, but you start having communication with people that are in that world.
Right.
With Make Toys, I've spoken to see a few CEOs, but for the most part, it's like, you know, I'm the runner for such and such, or I'm the whatever, you know, and they talk, and you start hearing information, and you're like, oh, so this guy and this guy is this, and that guy is that. Okay, well, that makes sense. And then blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, well, what's up with Fans Toys? And he's like, and every single one is like, we have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, I think they just stay out of it. They just do their own thing and like don't give a fuck about anybody else. And I don't even think they give a fuck about the car at this point.
I think, you know, I think what you're saying is, you know, it's almost, I'm going to say line in the sand, but it's hey, you know, we're coming after what is highly regarded as one of the best things you've ever done.
Yep. And we're doing it. And you got, and a Huffer just came out last year. Yeah, we're doing that too. And, you know, a C-Spray, you didn't like it? Cool, we'll redo it. Yeah. Oh, X-Transbots has one coming? Okay, well, we're doing it anyway. Yeah. You know, and the X-Transbots one is fairly well regarded, you know, in terms of pictures and such. But they don't, yeah, and it's not going to be tomorrow, but it's coming. So, and then, you know, the Blitzwing and all this shit, and now they're doing Blaster 2 again. Like, it's just like that one criticism of they show stuff and don't put it out. I mean, we're very close to seeing that just go away.
Yeah.
You won't be able to say it anymore. You know what I mean? Because they'll be at 100%. Mm-hmm. Not many companies can say that.
Yeah, I mean, that's Superion. Was it Maverick? That's out.
Yeah.
Technically, it's out right now.
Yeah.
So
and like,
and of course, there's bitches and complaints about that.
Yeah, and like even I tried to talk about it on Sit Down Saturday this week. I was like, you know, the shoulders seem low, but I was like, it might be mistransformed because a lot of the shit comes mistransformed out of the box. Exactly. And guess what? It was mistransformed.
I read that out a post. Somebody was saying that it. Yeah, because they shove everything down. Almost it's like a. Yeah. What are you?
And Robert was like, Robert's been getting on everybody that's like been posting their pictures. Like, I don't know about this thing with the shoulders all low, and he's like, oh, another guy that doesn't know how to transform it. Cool. Do you have your fucking Jetfire sitting up on a shelf, looking fucking 10 inches tall,
right.
Or 8 inches tall?
You want to pop them legs out there? They're chief.
It's so funny, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't. The same people that love G1 Masterpiece, supposedly, are the same people we see that want the only company producing G1 Masterpiece consistently to fail.
Yeah.
Like, motherfuckers better get a grip because the end is nigh.
It is. You're more plugged into the Transformers community than I guess I am at this point. What percentage do you think of people that have either abandoned their Masterpiece for Legend scale stuff or are considering it.
Considering it, I put probably around at least a quarter to a third.
Yeah.
Abandon it, I would say 5%. Like most people are double dipping now.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. I don't know if I want. I think if I could go back in time, I probably would have done Iron Factory Legends of just the IDW characters that I give a shit about.
Right.
You know, not all of them.
That's just worth a fortune now.
Yeah.
It's crazy what people are paying for, like $200 for a star screen.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, I think they are the best Legends class figure producer overall. Now, whether or not the aesthetic appeals to you is anybody's.
And that's the thing. So it started out as like a IDW kind of style, I'd say, and they've hung with that. I mean, I've got two of their pieces. I've got the Bruticus, which is phenomenal, and the Jetfire.
Yeah, that's really good.
Picked
that Jetfire is really good.
Just picked them up on the humble. Loose from Sam M. Actually, shout out to Sam.
That's a good dude.
Yeah, he and I.
He's selling mad apes right now.
Yeah, I think he and I just need to come to some agreement to just swap shit because we seem to buy stuff from each other. He had all the McFarlane Akira stuff, which I'd had years ago for steel. So I've recently picked that up from him. But I ask about fans' toys, and that can lead into this Unicron a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Speaking of great big butts,
I don't think it looks bad.
I don't think it looks bad, although you know how everything goes. It looks like he's got a stack of Pringles on the back of his leg.
Yeah, there are. He's chunky. You know, he's not sleek.
Yeah,
and I think when I see him in my mind, he's sleek. I mean, he's a big, robust kind of character, but I think
he's a planet.
He's a planet.
Yeah.
The engineering looks interesting. Like they pulled it off. You know, and I think they should be commended for that. I predicted this. You know, way back when I did a sit-down Saturday, I think, about the Pulse. Or
the barge, when they first did the barge?
Yeah, the HasLab. Yeah,
how much was that?
$500.
And so it was right in the same pot.
Yeah. And I said in that video, I was like, I mean, what this means potentially, I mean, could this bring us a Unicron? Like, that's a quote,
right.
Like 2 years ago. And here it is. And I think I got to measure. It's going to come down to logistics for me.
If you can fit it on the shelf.
Yep. If the space between my glass cabinet and the ceiling is big enough, I'll get it.
Man,
I don't think it's a bad. I mean, look, I'm going to tell you, the fucking barge went for 2 or 3 G's.
That's why, honestly, at this point, I think, what are they asking for? 8? Is it, how many pieces? 88? Is it 8,000 or 80? It's a lot. I think
backers?
Yes.
I want to say it was 800. Does that sound right? 8,000? 800 or 8,000?
Let me see if I can find a
PM.
Let me find a PM with it in here. Man, we talked about this shit a lot today. Hang on, let me look here.
But I think it looks good. I mean, for especially for Hasbro.
So somebody did the math, and basically it's $4.5 million is what they're going to have to bring in, or they're looking to bring in to make it. Which, look, they've got their margins or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, the barge, it took a while to get the barge funded.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be interested to see how this does. I think this is going to be telling in terms of, like, dude. So, do you think? What about for you? Do you think it looks good? I think it's big enough to have it. It's big enough to be an impact piece, regardless for a collection.
And that is, I'm trying to find it. Breaking news. There's somebody just posted a silhouette of Unicron with Fans Toys F62 FT62 beside it. I think yes, it's a statement piece, and so the price is what everybody seems to be up in arms about it. So let's just do the math.
Yeah,
if you're going to buy a combiner,
I think it's reasonable.
If you're going to buy a combiner which does not stand this tall,
right.
maybe do the Zeta.
They are.
Are they taller than Fort Max?
They're around the same height.
Okay, so it's taller than that.
Yeah, it's 27, 28 inches, somewhere around there.
367 backers already. It's been a day. So
how many do they need?
8,000. That's how many was the barge? Was it
5,000?
Okay, yeah. I mean that's some serious coinage they're going to pull in. You know, and it's a limit of 5 per transaction. I just saw.
Well, dude, I mean,
roll your change, gentlemen. Roll your change.
Well, I mean, like, if I could go back in time,
Get a couple barges.
Yeah, they got a couple barges.
Just the problem with that, man, is the logistics. So it's like take it to NJ. I think somebody had one at NJCC, a barge.
Oh, good luck.
Right. I mean, right. Yeah. Yeah. Pitching pennies. Right?
You know, I mean, the thing is that's for a serious buyer. Like that's a piece for a serious buyer.
Yeah. I mean, it's a. I think it's cool that they're doing it. I mean, I think the size. Yeah, look, you're never going to have a masterpiece scaled Unicron unless you buy a house to put it in.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Which is just dumb. So,
and I'm okay with it just being 8 inches taller than a CityBot. Like, I'm okay with my CityBots being an inch taller than my Zeta or whatever it is, you know? So, like, as long as this is bigger than that, I'm good.
Yeah, or just don't put it by the shit you don't want it to look shorter.
Yeah.
You know, if you have the... And look, a lot of people are like, I don't have the room for that. Then it's not for you, dude. Mm-hmm. Sorry. If you don't have the room to put it out... You know, but like, look at these combiners you guys are buying. You're spending, depending on which one you get, you're spending that much money, right?
Yeah. Now, theoretically, I would say typically that's a lot more engineering. Mm-hmm. But this Unicron looks like it's going to have some pretty serious engineering, like just to get that outer ring.
Yeah, get all those chips stacked on the back, man. You got
yeah. Those
get
chips
the Tostitos out.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm going to go in though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like as long as it'll fit.
Have you told everybody that PM'd you that?
No, I'll do a video. And,
I know.
And I think I'll probably do a dummies about it too, just because the dummies I probably keep wider.
It's Unicron week here on the Bobby Skullface show.
I mean, it's the biggest thing.
It is,
so to speak.
But then right before SDCC is also an on time to drop.
So I agree. Like, why? I guess so. They're going to show it at SDCC,
and maybe that's it. They just want to know.
Why wouldn't you like have it all roll out at that? You know, like start teasing a couple of things, like something big's coming. And when I say big, I mean big. You know what I mean? And like, you know, and then like something. This news might destroy the world, or you know what I mean, something like that, and then you fucking drop it, and and then you like, and the fucking thing is live, and all this. Like, this seems like a really weird kind of rollout for it.
Yeah, I mean, Cookie Monster didn't get much of a rollout either. I'm just waiting on the Oscar the Grouch with actual garbage can.
What else would you like to see?
Me personally,
from a HasLab standpoint,
I don't know, man. I mean. I honestly, like some 12 scale vehicles, Star Wars stuff would be cool.
So, like, what does a Falcon look like in 12 scale?
Right. What does they've done it, well, do you have the X-Wing?
Did they do one?
No, not, I'm sorry.
The TIE Fighter? No, it was huge.
Yeah.
But I think the Falcon would be too big for me also, so to speak.
Coffee table.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a big ass fucking coffee
table. It would be a good, yeah.
Actually, you could probably do that thing, like like there's that famous coffee table out there that somebody made of like two boulders and the and the Millennium Falcon between the two, and then the glass that's on top. You could probably do that.
Yeah. Something like that. I mean, not even, it wouldn't
X-Wing Blackbird? I mean, X-Men Blackbird?
Possibly. Yeah, I mean, that would be cool.
Galactus?
Yeah, you'd think that wouldn't really, because the parts count wouldn't be high on that.
But you could, they could put extra into it. Do you know what I mean? Like if they're doing it a crowdfunded kind of way, I mean, they could make it. They'd have the leeway to make it better.
How tall of a Galactus would you want that? 4 feet tall?
I think they did this size.
What do you mean?
28 inches.
28 inches. Okay. How big was the last? Was it? Did Hasbro do a Build-A-Figure Galactus?
Yeah. No, I think it was Toy World. I mean, yeah, Toy World, not Toy World.
Toy Biz.
Toy Biz.
Sorry, Toy Biz. You've gotten lost in the sauce here.
Yeah.
Toy World's doing a 28-inch Galactus. You heard it here first.
I'd buy it.
Yeah, me too. Fuck it. Why are they not making a Sentinel? So.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I mean, honestly, like things come to mind for G.I. Joe, but I don't think that franchise. I don't know enough G.I. Joe collectors to wholeheartedly say they would back it.
You know what I think they could do for G.I. Joe is do a wave.
Okay.
Like instead of doing like a piece, instead of doing a 6-inch hiss or whatever, like be like, look, we're gonna do 8 figures.
Here's this. Yeah, here's your 6-inch.
Crowdfunded for this,
or then maybe do 6 figures and an All-Striker and a hiss tank.
Yeah,
that
would be cool.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of potential. I'm trying to think though, like what I'd want to see them do Star Wars. Like I think that Sandcrawler would be like the obvious choice, but they're doing that for some exclusive. Like I don't know if it's going to be a Disney Store exclusive or a Galaxy's Edge exclusive
for 12th scale,
3 3/4.
Okay.
But I mean, it's going to be fucking.
It's going to be massive. Yeah. Be a cool piece to have if you had somewhere to put it.
Yeah, and I don't know if I had the real. I had to get my measuring tape.
The Tatooine desert in my basement. It's full of sand now. It gets everywhere.
It's got fucking. I got the fucking barge over here, and
That's
I got
right.
the, you know.
Hey. My entire basement is Tatooine.
It's a sandbox.
Yeah. Don't let your cats downstairs, please.
But yeah, I don't know what else I'd want to see in the Star Wars world. You know, in that scale, I guess you could do a Rancor. They could do shit like that if they wanted to.
Do that. They could do an AT-AT.
Ooh.
An AT-AT, and so what about an AT-AT with 2 snow speeders?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just wondering what other brands they hold that they're willing to take a risk on. I guess from a design standpoint, and who knows? This Unicron might have been designed 5 years ago.
Yeah, it may have, but I
may
mean,
have been sitting on the right way to roll it out.
I think it's interesting that it went Star Wars, Transformers,
Sesame Street in there, buddy. Don't forget.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Cookie Monster.
I'm sorry.
It's such an odd.
Did they crowdfund that too?
Yeah, it's up there right now.
Did it get made?
I don't know. Let's look and see.
Yeah.
Let's take a peek here, folks.
But it surprises me that Marvel wasn't ahead of it. You know, if they did like a Quinjet,
yeah,
you know, they could have got away with that. They could have probably done a fucking Shield aircraft carrier.
Yeah, I think they probably could have. Let's see what we can find the Cookie Monster here. If you search it on Hasbro Pulse, there it is. It's $300. I don't know much about this.
I don't either. I just knew it was a thing. It's
got 41 days to fulfill. Target of 3,000, and it's got 221. So
not looking good.
I don't know. I just don't know who the target audience is for this. I don't know that I've ever met an adult collector that's a rabid about Sesame Street.
Well, there's 300 of them.
Right.
In the world.
Right. There's 300, and we're getting close. I just don't see that one coming through. I mean, look, we know that this shit waits to the last minute.
Yeah, the barge
to fund.
The barge, I think, was a week out or 2 weeks out before it got made.
There was something I wanted to check. So there was a guy who supposedly worked for Hasbro that is doing a Kickstarter right now for a 6-inch G.I. Joe-ish line. And it wasn't doing very well last time I looked. Let me see here.
What campaign slogan do you think because they had back the barge? They got to have something catchy.
Oh,
feed the planet.
No horns on the unicorn. No.
Feed the planet. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. This guy's got till. No, it wasn't met. He only got halfway there. Yeah, that's surprising. He got the trademark for Action Force, which was what G.I. Joe was called in Europe, but he got halfway there. Didn't fund.
Wow.
So.
Huh. Yeah, I think that's, I'd be down for if it fit, if I could find a way to make it fit, but I would love to see them do some play sets. You know, I would love to see an X Mansion.
Yeah.
You know, I think that would be fucking cool. It'd have to look good. You know what I mean? But,
well, I mean, if you look at it breaks my heart to even talk about this, but the diorama NECA sold with the turtles. At the SDCC. Did you ever see that?
Mm-mm.
It's like a 3. Well, if you've seen any toy photography, I promise you've seen it because everybody uses it. It's this 3-tiered building with a.
Oh, yes.
So that is pretty readily available out there for $130. It's well made enough for what it is, but just reason I'm saying that is I think they could do an X Mansion.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's going to come across as a dollhouse.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's exactly what it is.
I mean, but let's be honest, that's what Castle Grayskull is, too.
Dude, we used to hijack Adam's sister's dollhouse.
Barbie Dreamhouse.
No, it was cheesy. It was like a Fisher Price, Little People dollhouse.
Okay.
But we used to hijack that for X Mansion, dude, and
really?
Had a blast.
Nice.
You know what I mean? With the original Toy Biz figures.
But the problem with that is I don't know how many people our age that would buy an X Mansion would. have that much fun with it. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I probably wouldn't even have that much fun with it now anymore. But I don't know. I don't like, and I don't know if any of that stuff would work for me logistically. Logistics is a big part of it, you know, like for something that big. But I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of people for a lot of time that I would wish they put out a Unicron or like put your money where your mouth is. Homie.
Yeah, here it is. I mean, whether you like it or not, and everybody, there's a lot of complaints of MP44 is coming out, right around the same time, I guess, or
2021.
No, well,
I know,
right? So that's people's tying up money. And look, here's the deal: that ain't the only time that's going to be available. MP44, it'll probably get a U.S. release at some point in time,
right?
Unless you got one of those crackhead good deals on Amazon Japan, you're probably paying more than you should for it anyway.
Right.
Here we are. Make your decision as a collector.
I think it's the smart choice. If you want it, if you know you want it, I think it's the smart choice to hop on it now.
Yeah.
I guess get into notes.
Right on.
So not a whole lot, obviously, because SDCC is around the corner, but there is a few things. So the 5th Ninja Turtle this week. Have you seen this?
Is this the female Ninja Turtle?
It is female Jenica. I'll be honest with you.
Is that one of the great artists of the Renaissance?
I'd have to do my research. But
and I thought we already had a Venus.
Oh, in the show.
I mean,
there was one that was. Do you remember that one? It was in the show. She had like a light blue mask.
But I thought like one of the last,
like the live action show. That's where she was from.
Okay.
Yeah, she was from like the live action show, and she had like that was terrible. Like
it's barely. I was probably out of it by then.
I would love to do an irregular collectors episode on just the Turtles franchise and like merchandise and such. Like that fucking. I mean, like when they had the shit that franchise got away with is crazy. Like the fucking music show, like the touring music show.
Oh yeah.
And, during its height,
they could do no wrong.
They could do no wrong.
I'm sure there's still people eating off that Playmates money from back in the day.
Yeah, but I get the feeling that this character, I mean, the issue did record numbers.
Now, I'm sorry, I saw that this happened. Is there something to read here that gives us a little more information about like who she is? It's just in the IDW comics.
It's in the IDW comics. It's actually pretty cool how they did it. The book is the fuck out of here. It did stupid numbers. And matter of fact, to people out there, I advise you if you're looking for an investment to probably pick it up. It might be worth $100 or so down the line. Not crazy money, but if this character, if she becomes endearing, her first appearance is going to be worth some money.
Sure.
Anyway, it says the latest issue of IDW's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has created quite a buzz by adding a new female turtle into the mix. The sold-out issue 95 concluded with the young Foot Clan member, Jenica, transforming into turtle form after an emergency blood transfusion performed by Donatello using Leonardo's blood. Now IDW has published concept art that properly showcases Jenica's turtle form and reveals her new yellow mask. Congratulations to the creative team. The book is sold out at the distributor level and going to second print. IDW tweeted, until then, we head over to your local comic book shop and pick up your copy. Rumor has it there's a huge cliffhanger. Sporting a cloak and claws, Jenica, the second leader to the Foot Clan, was in need of a blood transfusion after being stabbed by a resentful Karai. However, Leonardo's mutant blood caused the human girl to transform, similarly to the 4 ninja brothers. Since the transformation happened at the end of the issue, Jenica's Ninja Turtle form hasn't been seen in action yet, and it remains to be seen how the transformation will affect her relationship with the Turtle brothers and her love interest, Casey Jones.
Okay, well, there's lots to unpack there. First of all, let's keep in mind that this is a fictional world where, there's a fictional world where there's giant turtles roaming around and mutants and whatnot. Who the fuck decided, hey, Bobby, would you ever in a million years say, oh, fuck, Chris needs some blood. Hey, bring me that house cat. There's a turtle on the ground.
You know what I find funny is that, like, can you imagine? Let's play this out.
Okay.
You are a perpetual somehow teenager.
I'm down.
Who is also a mutant. Also has ninja fighting skills.
Pimples and semen everywhere.
And you're a turtle.
Okay.
And the only other people that you know that are like you are 3 other dudes.
Okay.
now it's you and your 3 other dudes who you've just had to come to the conclusion, look, we're alone in the world.
We're just going to take turns,
It's
guys.
just us.
Just take turns.
And now you get one girl.
Yeah.
And what if she's not into any of them?
But now you know how to make other girls.
That's true.
That's what I'm thinking, man. I'm thinking, listen, Leonardo's going to have a fucking flock of hoes over here.
Forced species transformation.
But listen, there'd be people into it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you want to turn into a turtle?
Yeah.
And,
They said they love being a turtle.
Yeah. And they eat all the pizza they want.
You're making this very attractive to me.
Listen, I don't think we'd have to,
if it came with the ninja fighting.
I don't think you'd have to shave anymore.
Nope.
Smooth.
Came with the ninja fighting skills. Dude, they got pretty sweet outfits.
It's just some belts and some pieces of cloth. But,
but
unless we're talking about the movie.
But the cloth emote with them. So like if you move your eyes underneath, the cloth moves with your eyes.
That's right. And sometimes your eyes don't have pupils, and sometimes they do. Sometimes you get to wear a trench coat.
I hope mine do not have pupils. I prefer that look.
Right.
Yeah.
So nobody really knows what you're looking at. It's like wearing sunglasses at the beach all the time.
But I don't know. Yeah. But I don't know if. So here's the thing: if she does stick around, like if she becomes like this endearing character, and like no, we'll just keep it's 5 now. Does she remain a good guy, bad guy? Like how do they?
Right. That's the other thing. Is like
how do they work all that? I haven't been reading it, so she may already.
No clue.
But
will Shredder take you as one of his own if you look like that, or is he like, let's make an army of turtles? Because now I can take your blood, right, and I can make all these people into.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that always works out so good.
Yeah, it's just like 5th and 6th generation mutants.
Right.
But by the end, they just look like the hills have eyes.
Can I have sex with her?
They're like, I think I'm supposed to be an armadillo.
Are we cousins? What about some of that Bebop and Rocksteady blood? Now that we know this world is available to us, let's see here. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. I'm not against it. She looks cool. I like the yellow. I think yellow is a good choice. And
at least it's not pink.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
That would have been 2 on the nose.
Yeah, I agree. So there's that. As most, I can't talk about this, but it's a Spider-Man note.
Sorry.
But let me just say this, and for the listeners, they'll know what I'm talking about if they've seen the movie, and hopefully you will not. There is a post-credit scene that will, at first, you'll think, oh, it was ABC. Makes sense to me. And then later on, when you're getting on down the road, you'll think to yourself, fuck, though, what if it was also DEF? Mm-hmm. And shit, I guess it could have been HIJKLMNOP.
I got to tell you, Bobby, you're impressed me with your alphabet.
It was just ABC.
Okay.
That's what they confirmed, just ABC.
So it's
exactly what you
said.
Yep.
Okay. Well, hang on. Did the writer or the director say that?
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Oh.
I don't know. But it involves one of the post-credit scenes, and it's just ABC.
Gotcha.
Joke's on us. The Joker movie will have no ties to the comics whatsoever, as so they say. They say we didn't follow anything from the comic books, which people are going to be mad about. We just wrote our own version of where a guy like Joker might come from. That was what was interesting to me. We're not even doing Joker, but the story of becoming Joker. It's about this man.
I'm completely fine with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with it too.
As long as you're telling me up front. Don't try to shoehorn it in later.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the 7th Joker.
Yeah.
No, just say it's a one-shot. Listen, your Elseworld shit has been great for years. Fucking make Elseworld stories.
And it can be, I'm okay with it being this universe's Joker. Mm-hmm. How the Joker becomes the Joker is not important to me. Like, it's a cool little story, the Red Hood and all that, but it doesn't affect how I see that character really in any way, except for the one thing that him and Batman are both the kind of some equivalent of one bad day.
Right.
You know?
Right,
and
exactly.
That has meaning. But as long as this Joker has a bad day, I'm kind of good with it.
Right.
Like, I don't really care.
I meant to bring one of the latest Mezcode releases I think it's called Punk Joker. I don't know if you've seen it or
this
not.
with the striped pants.
Yeah, striped pants. He's got suspenders pulled down.
Yeah.
It's just a unique take on the character. I dig it a lot.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
It's soft goods to that scale. Just never do it for me.
Getting better and better.
Yeah, I can believe that. It's just sometimes they just look like
doll clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, they do, but at the same time, if a 6 scale figure is not done correctly, I'm not pointing anything in particular.
No, but sometimes they do too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think the smaller you get, the harder it is.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you haven't seen him yet, the Deathstrike. Deathstroke.
I was actually eyeing him to mess with when we got done here. He's a beefy unit. It looks like.
Yeah, it's a good looking figure, man.
Yeah.
And I got T'Challa also.
Okay. Which version is that?
The Black Panther film.
Okay. It appears to be. No, wait a minute. I'll look at it because there's some quite heavy differences between that and the Civil War. From someone showed a comparison shot.
I've got a review on it going up on Patreon. I think I might wait. I might put it up Wednesday now because this will go up tonight. But I have mixed feelings about it.
About the
T'Challa.
Okay.
But no spoilers. Let's see what else. Yeah, I don't care about the Joker shit. I don't think that his origin story matters. I just don't think that is what I'm not sure. See, my concern is that I'm not sure that he matters independent of Batman. That's what I'm curious about. So, like, if they needed to change the story to make him matter more for his own independent storytelling, well, I mean, it's his fucking movie. It should matter for him, Sure, so I'm on board.
I'm with you there on the one yin and yang bit.
Yeah,
of Batman.
Yeah,
it's very telling, I think, of the way that character is portrayed, depending on where Batman is in that. I mean, even if you have you seen the Batman Lego movie?
Yes.
That relationship there.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't want to be my good guy, I don't want to be your bad guy.
Yeah.
And the world falls apart.
Yeah.
Even something simple as that dynamic, I think, is very important to the story.
I love that it's Bruce that he's making the smile on his face in the trailer, like the young kid. Like,
right. Has that been confirmed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that. I love that a lot. So yeah, I'm good with it. And I think the more I hear, the more I'm guessing that spoiler thing that we heard from Tyler is probably all legit.
Yeah. Have to remind me of
that his mom worked for the Waynes.
Yeah. Gotcha.
All right. So there's all this confusing shit going on. I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm losing my mind. Warner Media streaming service is officially named HBO Max.
I saw this as well, and I don't understand.
So I'm going to try to read this. So nearly 1 year after Warner Media announced it planned to launch a streaming service of its own to compete with Netflix and Disney, we know the name is HBO Max. It will bring together the diverse riches of Warner Media to create programming and user experiences not seen before in a streaming platform. HBO's world-class programming leads the way, the quality of which will be the guiding principle of our new array of Max originals, our exciting acquisitions, and the very best of Warner Brothers. Starting with the phenomenon that is Friends, under the leadership of two of the strongest creative visionaries, blah, 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 no doubt their dedication, teams will deliver the world's best storytelling to audiences, blah, 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 blah. But, so then I looked at this other note, and it said that, all the Doom Patrol shit, all that shit is going to be there too. So I wonder if the DC Universe subscription service will just be absorbed into this kind of thing.
Look, we'll never know the numbers, but I just couldn't imagine DC's got a ton of people signing up to watch the old Shazam TV show and Doom Patrol.
Well, I think the only thing is that I think that's cool. I mean, I didn't sign. I'm a massive DC fan, and I didn't sign up for it because I buy all the shit that but then like they had Krypton on Sci-Fi Channel, and it's just like it didn't seem all inclusive. And then did it come with a comic book subscription as well?
Like digital comic subscription? I don't know.
It should have if it didn't. Yeah. I'm assuming that because it seems like that would be more the allure.
Let's look it up. What's it called? DC. I'll just type in DC streaming.
Yeah.
DC comic streaming.
I think it's DC Universe. But they have a trailer out for it now, and they got Young Justice in it. They got Swamp Thing, I think, makes an appearance. And
okay, read 20,000 plus comics.
There you go. So that seems like almost more alluring. It's almost like that is the alluring thing. Like you get to read all the comics, and then you can watch the movies or whatever at your leisure.
It says shop exclusive merch, which I haven't heard anything about. Explore origins, exclusive events and contests.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's 75. But here's the deal. Maybe they'll keep that, and hey, you get this in the comics, or you can just watch all this shit on the
right.
And I'm trying to think what Warner Brothers properties there. I mean, Space Jam comes to mind, but all the Looney Tunes stuff is theirs.
Yeah, and well, see, that was another question I was going to ask, or I was wondering about if this Disney streaming platform will have all of their old cartoon shorts.
Probably not all of them.
Maybe not all. But like, you know, all that like Donald Duck Present shit where it was like those little animated shorts of, you know, like, because that was some really classic kind of Disney stuff.
Sure.
I mean, to me,
or even like the old, you know, DuckTales cartoons.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. But like that, you know, like when they were going to the haunted house on a little adventure or.
Yeah, they were like little 15-minute or 12-minute clips.
That's really what defined who those characters are, you know, is that
Right.
that kind of stuff. So I hope that they do that. I hope they have that available. I would love to watch some of that stuff again.
And when does that Disney stuff to roll out?
I think it's this fall because
I know it's this fall. I didn't know specifics. You knew September maybe?
Maybe
Or
because Mandalorian's supposed to hit, I think, in November.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. And they've already like started filming the second season or planning it out or whatever.
$15 million an episode.
Can you? I have a hard time wrapping my head around.
That's $5 million more than Game of Thrones.
What is it? I mean, what do you? I don't know, man. Yeah, and you really just start to process that. Like, what are they spending $15 million on?
It's crazy because.
I mean,
if it like as long as it looks it like because that's my concern with television is that it never looks as good,
right?
But Game of Thrones definitely looks as good,
right?
So I'm hoping that this looks like a movie. You know, I wonder if I know they're not going to have a big presence at SDCC this year, if any.
Who's that?
Lucasfilm.
I don't know. Or so they are not doing a trailer reveal. They haven't announced any of that shit?
I think they're saving it for D23.
When is that?
August.
And is it in L.A. again? Or
I don't
Pasadena?
know.
Or?
That I don't know.
And is that more of a... I was always confused about D23. Is it more of an industry event?
I think it's more of an industry event, but I can't lock that down one way or the other, like confirm that. But I think it is an industry event.
Today is sponsored by Google.
I think it's an industry event / like shareholders / like if you have stock in Disney, you can go. Like,
let's go.
Do you have stock?
How hard could it be to buy?
It's probably expensive as fuck.
So it is in Anaheim. But, well, it says D23 is coming to SDCC Saturday morning. So I don't know what exactly they're doing.
Like Lion King.
There's got to be a Wikipedia here. I love how Disney on Google has their fucking mouse head. Come on, man. We know, man. We know what you're doing. Yeah, it's not. It says Ultimate Disney Fan Event, so I guess it's a.
There you go, public.
I guess this is their Facebook page. Let's see. I don't know.
So they're supposed to have the 9 trailer, like the proper 9 trailer.
The proper 9 trailer. So,
but if I was Lucasfilm, I would put out that Mandalorian trailer, like all the shit they showed at Celebration that they never like officially released. Mm-hmm. Put all that shit out at SDCC. Then you have a month for that to die down, and you hit them again with Episode 9.
Right.
That's part of the problem I'm having with this with the Disney Star Wars is they're treating that shit like it's their daughter's virginity, and like you got to let it out a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, it's not this precious thing,
right? From a subscription number standpoint, you need to show us what the fuck we're getting. Mm-hmm. You know, and listen, I'll fault the DC a little bit by not just initially coming out and like, hey, here's everything you're getting. Because, I mean, maybe they didn't do a good job because it didn't get to me.
Right.
Because I was like, oh, the DC, what's on that? Oh, Doom Patrol. Cool. I'm good. Right, you know, but I'm sure there's a trillion things on there.
Right.
But, like, show the Mandalorian full trailer. How do I watch this? It's $8. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom, Lean Cuisine's all week. We're getting the Disney Network.
Because
at
Celebration, they had a trailer. They had, I think, like a short clip. Mm-hmm. And they had a behind-the-scenes featurette.
And that was in May?
April.
So yeah, we're almost 4 months. Yeah.
Yeah, put that shit out.
That's crazy that hasn't gotten out.
It's out on people's phones.
Well, I know, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, put that shit out. Like, I showed it. Shoulders hadn't seen it. He's a massive Star Wars fan.
I haven't seen it.
And I showed it because they show IG-88. It was like IG-11, whatever. Like, it's you know. But they show him, like, going to work.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy fuck, like it makes you look at him different.
Yeah.
Like this isn't what I thought it was.
Just a pipe guy standing there.
Exactly. You're like, holy shit, that's scary, man. So yeah, I hope they put it out. We do have one little bit of Star Wars news, might as well.
I did want to Phil had dropped this in the notes about the Punisher and the cops.
Oh yeah, I actually meant to talk about that last week. Go ahead.
So basically, in the newest issue of the Punisher, which I was actually at Midtown this week, and weird flex, but
Weird flex.
I actually picked up. I forgot to say I picked up the John Wick Dynamite Comics trade. Apparently, they took like 2 years to put out 6 issues or some shit, but they put out a trade finally, so I picked that up.
Is he going to the Area 51 thing? Why does he keep popping up in that Area 51? You know about this Area 51 thing?
It's ridiculous. It's some Facebook.
The memes are great.
Oh, they are.
They're
great.
wonderful.
It's like. A lot of the time, I have to Google what the fuck is this? Like the Revolutionary War at the airport deal. You know, did you hear about that one?
No.
Trump read the teleprompter wrong and ended up saying something about fighting at the airports or some shit during the Revolutionary War. So there were all these, and you probably saw them and just didn't get it. But talking about taking the regiment on horseback to the Newark airport and all this wild ass shit. Anyways, so I had to Google the Area 51. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, what a bunch of dumbasses.
Dude, the memes, my favorite one that I've seen so far is that one alien, he's like laying on the bed and he's got like sunglasses on. It's like one of those like big head aliens. It's like a stuffed animal or something. He's like laying, he's got sunglasses on, he's got like a drink in his hand, he's got like his cell phone laying across his stomach, and it's like it says waiting for the we outside text.
There's been some good ones.
Yeah.
There's been some good ones.
But apparently Keanu Reeves keeps popping up in the memes. So I don't know if he said that he was going.
Oh, I think it's just that, like, I've seen that. I think it's just the John Wick kind of momentum. That's all I can figure out. I don't know. Maybe he has.
Because all I've seen is Keanu Reeves. And then I saw this one that was a meme, and it was like the government, when they hear that, 300,000 people are showing up at Area 51. And it was like this guy smirking.
Right.
And then it was like the next one was the government when one person shows up, and it's like this guy like laughing. And, and it was like the government when he realizes that one person is John Wick, and he's like all super scared, But then like a whole bunch of them have like Naruto, some shit. I don't even know what that means.
So it's the way Naruto. Sorry, Joe. Is an anime.
Okay.
And in there, the guys all run like with their arms backwards.
Oh yeah.
You've probably seen some
the headbands.
You've probably seen some people at a convention running around like that's what that's in reference to, I guess.
So they have like Naruto runners are showing up. Keanu Reeves is showing up.
But somebody put this out. It's apparently a Snapchat of him, and it says Area 51, here I come, which I'm pretty sure that's not true.
I wonder if he just said it as a joke and something.
Or somebody just put that on there.
Right.
But, I mean, that's on Reddit, so who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wretched hive of scum and
villainy.
Which I've actually started using some.
I love it.
I
actually love it.
So Mason uses Reddit, and he showed me some funny stuff. Total sidebar story. He was saying, I looked in the subreddit for action figures, and it's so funny to see these guys like, look at my Marvel Legends collection, and it's like 3 things laying on their bed, and I'm like,
mattress.
Like, dude, let me show you something. So I opened, because he doesn't really use Facebook that much, so I opened up like one of the sales posts. I'm like, see, you got to get a dirty mattress, and then you got to lay them all out, but don't put a price. You say best offer. Anyways, so it's everywhere.
I forget what I was going to say. Oh, I could put you on to my sources there.
Oh, you're yeah. I'm sure. I haven't dug around a lot, but there's actually a pretty active diorama group there.
Oh, really?
But it's more like
HO
scale modeling stuff.
Anyway, you were saying about something before I diverted with Area 51. You were in Midtown. You were reading the John Wick comic.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about the Punisher.
Correct.
So I had seen this blur, but actually they had the issue there. So basically in one of the newer issues of the Punisher, he's walking through an alley, he's covered in blood, these cops stop him. Stop. It's like, oh my God, there's blood. Put your hands up. So he's, obeying. And then they say, oh, you're the Punisher. Can we get a picture for the group? Like, what are you talking about? So basically these cops had formed a social media group around the cops that support the Punisher kind of deal.
That's cool. Like, that's a cool idea. You know what I mean? Like, to put in the book.
So he rips the sticker off their car and says, we're not the same. I do things that you can't do. Your side of the law and my side of the law aren't the same. Which is a pretty bold statement because that happens a lot. And it kind of spread from there that a lot of law enforcement agencies across the country have embraced the Punisher skull.
Right.
And a lot of, I think the concern is it's more of a force inside the force. A lot of what you see, I guess, in movies and stuff that, we're the guys that actually get all the shit done. So it's kind of almost like the publishers are saying, don't do this. Don't I mean, without coming out and saying it, but if the character that it's based around is what you're,
yeah,
you know,
I mean,
and I get it, and I know like in Afghanistan and in Iraq, and a lot of those guys have their tanks and they're on their vests and stuff. I don't know.
I think to be honest with you, I think a lot of it is I've seen cops, rock it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen fire departments rock it.
Yeah.
I've seen military people for sure rock it.
Right. I mean, it's a patch you put on your
I think
vest and stuff.
I'll be honest with you. This is just from the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm.
I think the point they're making in the book is the right point to make.
Sure.
But I think that most of those agencies probably just rock it because it's badass.
Exactly.
I don't think
it's a skull and crossbones flag.
Yeah, I don't think that they're taking it to that like we agree with this philosophy.
Right.
I also, simultaneously, I don't personally think that Marvel's trying to make this statement.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just a kind of in-universe thing. This is probably how Frank would react.
Sure. And I don't disagree with that at all. And I haven't read any of the current run of the Punisher. I mean, I know you and I differ on opinion on the Punisher books, but the last run I read, I really enjoyed, and I'm just picking up the trades. I don't really pick up loose comics anymore like that, but I just thought it was a very real world grounded storyline. I mean, look, you see the Punisher skull with a black and blue background sometimes, right? So that's very on the nose for the police force.
Yeah, yeah.
And it almost, I could see from like a municipal management level, if you know what that Punisher skull is a representation of, and you've got 15 guys on your crew that wear that patch, do you really need to pay more attention to what they're doing?
I'm sure that military, any kind of public servant kind of people, I'm sure you can find, if you talk to enough of them, people that have tried to get it on official stuff, and you'd find agencies that have been like, nope.
Yeah, but I mean, sure, there's a SWAT team that has that patch on their on their vest when they go to work,
right?
Or whatever.
But, I got a buddy of mine, and he has the Punisher skull tattooed on him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because I used to work with him, and I worked with him and one other guy that would always give me shit about being a comic book fan. Like just ball breaking stuff. And the other guy had the Watchmen tattoo on his leg. He didn't know it was the Watchmen tattoo. He just
the
thought
smiley face.
Yeah, with the blood,
the bloodshot.
He just thought it was a cool design at like.
Did you bring him a book
at the tattoo shop? So one day they were giving me shit about it, and I was like, "Look, I'm the only motherfucker in here without a comic book tattoo."
Yeah,
I was like, maybe I should get one so I can be part of you guys' crew.
Right.
I was like, you guys don't like what I like. You just wear it on your skin for life.
Right. Exactly.
But to take it, I was like, the one dude, he's like, know-it-all dude. I love him to death, but the Watchman guy, he was like, this isn't a comic book tattoo. I was like, 100% is a comic book tattoo. And he's like, no, it means shit happens. And I was like, no, I mean, some shit happened in that book, but
yeah, that's Forrest Gump you're thinking about, buddy.
And but the other guy that had the Punisher tattoo, he knew it was the Punisher symbol, but he got it just because he's badass skull.
Right.
I think that's why most of them. I don't think that most people in those fields take it that far philosophically.
And I'm sure that it's more of the, Thomas Jane, even John Bernthal Punisher. It's not the classic, Punisher
white
logo.
gloves, white boots.
Right.
And I think also that like they're like probably, like this is a badass dude that does badass stuff, and this is a badass symbol. But like that's probably the extent of it.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. That shit is that shit is funny though. The fucking, and I think it's an appropriate, like I don't once again I don't think it is a statement. I don't think it's their attempt at making like a Punisher does not support police wearing Punisher badges. I think it's just saying that in universe he wouldn't. I don't think it's saying
fair.
Marvel Comics is making this statement.
Yeah.
Still my favorite Punisher moment is in the newest Secret Wars.
Yeah.
When like it's like the end of the world and all the villains are in that bar, like the villain bar, and he like walks in and he's like, "Way I see it, we got 15 minutes."
Yeah. Yeah. That was a cool bit there.
This is great because like what is he gonna do? He can't do shit, Right. And he's like, "Well, I'll do this." I love that. Okay, so the last thing we got to talk about regarding notes and news and all those sorts of things is this Sith Trooper.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
So we got a Hot Toys coming, and we have a Black Series coming. Both predictable. The Black Series is going to be available next weekend.
Is it okay? So I heard. So all that happened. I was traveling at the time, but I remember
Busy.
I was so busy, Bob.
Busy.
So
You're booked and busy.
That's a good way to put it. B&B, booked and busy. There was some scuttlebutt about maybe it was a vintage series and not a Black Series. Nonetheless, it doesn't really matter.
Oh, was it?
I don't know. It was coming at me so fast.
I mean,
so
I'm sure a vintage collection one is coming as well.
Exactly. So the first thing that someone referenced was that it was on that poster that leaked out a while back that seems to be more of like, we're going to put this on the end cap at Target kind of promotional thing.
And it is. I went back and checked.
Yeah.
It's the helmet. Like,
okay.
Like
it's not just the color.
Yeah. Hold on one second. Let's get just going. Yo.
Yo, what's happening?
You're live on Nerd Rage.
Oh, how are you guys recording on a Monday?
Well, you'll see, sir, that's a very complicated topic. It's better some Nerd Rage than no Nerd Rage.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, well, I feel that then. All right, well, then let me go. I don't want to bring this show down.
Oh, man.
All right, I'll give you a shout. I'll give you a shout when it's said and done.
All right.
So yeah, so it is like it has like the rivets in the helmet that go down on the sides. It has the line from the eyes to the mouth that goes.
And the mouth connects to the
eyes
eyes now.
at the back.
Very Clone Trooper-ish.
Very Clone Trooper-esque.
Yeah, and it's got the ribs in it like the
Correct.
Original. Didn't the patrol? I can't even say the word. The guards from the last movie. Didn't they have the ribs on their?
I don't know.
The red guards.
Oh, the Praetorian guards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So it brings that up to it.
Yes.
I don't know, man. I just, as far as what it means.
Well, let's talk about the design first. What do you think? What do you think of the design? I mean, we're going to get new troopers in every movie.
We are.
We always have.
Right. It sells toys.
Right.
I almost wish they'd gone with just a completely different design. Mainly because I'm kind of tired of
the First Order design.
Of the First Order trooper design. I mean, it was really cool at first, and now it's like...
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think that there's a bigger leap. Like, if we look at... Like, all of them have made bigger leaps, really. If we look at, like, the Stormtrooper in Episode 4 versus the Snow Trooper in Episode 5 versus the Scout Trooper in Episode 6, like, clearly 3 totally different designs.
Right.
We don't really have them in the first movie, but we have battle droids as kind of your troop builder.
Right, but even in that, you had the droid decas, which were obviously different.
Yep.
And then you get the super
battle droids in the second one.
which is my least favorite design.
Yeah, I don't like it either. It's funny because I actually really like the battle droid design. Like, I think I hate the way they communicate, but I really...
Right.
And I told you, I was at when I was at Celebration, like, they had, like, a life-size one built.
Yeah.
From the R2 builder people, and like it is kind of an intimidating. Like to see it in the movie, it looks goofy, kind of, but like to see it up close, I was like, "Fuck, this is scary."
And then imagine there's 100 of them.
Yeah.
And anyway. Then one of them has a red shoulder because who knows why that robot's important. That's what.
What's up, Sarge?
I watched episode 1 recently, part of it. A couple things I did notice. Anytime it's just CGI, it looks fine. But when there's CGI and like real places, like the scene I remember in particular is when they are trying to take back the palace in Naboo and they're running around and they're perfectly shot.
They're grappling.
Their grappling hooks all work perfect every time. But like there's a like the tank scene in there just like does not age well.
And you know what's funny is that now it's only the stuff that's kind of mixed that works. It's like if you think about it, like most movies now, like even like the big spectacle movies, your Endgames and your whatever, like your Star Wars, they use this blend of real world and CGI, and they've kind of got it down now where you have to have this balance in order to, but it's the balance they couldn't get right.
Right. So I mean, listen, they had to. If they hadn't worked through all that, we wouldn't be.
We wouldn't be.
We would have never gotten Avatar, Bobby. For Christ's sakes.
Well, I mean, honestly, that's going to be the Lucasfilm major contribution when all the smoke clears.
Absolutely. Like, we don't need actors anymore. Yeah. We don't even need voice actors anymore.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's what they've done to cinema effect-wise. It's going to be their real stamp.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Absolutely.
The
But we're talking about troopers and whatnot.
Yeah, so then you have like the original clone, and then you have like the second generation, and then you have
Phase
like
2.
by the third you have like the
Specialties.
Yeah, exactly. So, and they're not as much of a leap, but there's still a significant differentiation between like your original clones and your ARC trooper, or your,
Right.
So,
And it's easy to see. It's easy to see how that morphs into a stormtrooper, though.
Yeah,
it's literally like evolution.
Yeah.
And I guess even if you follow it all the way up to where we are now, that's kind of a same. It's. I look at it this way. You look at the Ford Taurus over the years. It's made some changes, but it still kind of looks like a Ford Taurus, right? But they changed the size of the windshield and the front grille and the city car. I kind of look at the evolution of the trooper, we'll call it, from clone to where we are now as kind of like that, like model cars, car models over the years.
So I have some questions about it. I'm okay with the design.
I need to pull it up and look because I remember that it's red,
and we're gonna get them. Like we were gonna get something. I probably would have preferred something more drastically different as well. All cards being on the table, but
capes.
Yeah, dude, I'm not. I don't like those capes they wore on Mimban. I dig.
That's what came to mind. I really enjoy that look.
Me too. But I'm good with it. My thing with it is more so questions.
Okay.
So where do I begin? One, is this trooper part of the First Order? That's my first question.
Okay.
Or is this whatever Palpatine is doing, is this his force? And then for it to be so closely tied to the First Order look, does that connect Palpatine and Snoke somehow?
I was trying to find like an image of them side by side, and it doesn't look anybody's done it. I don't know, man. It's a really sharp design. It's almost like, man, see that in white?
Yeah,
it's just got so much more little intricacies.
I like the helmet design a lot.
I do too. Now that I look at it.
So, oh my God, Joe just hit me up for thoughts on.
Hang on. I've got it. There you go. I got him.
Okay. First I've heard. So my thing is that is it tied to Palpatine?
Right.
Because it does have this official name of Sith Trooper. And as far as Disney has said, Snoke was not a Sith. Or not Disney, but Lucasfilm has said that Snoke is not a Sith, that Kylo is not a Sith. Like they've gone out of their way to say it, and now we have Sith Troopers. So are they tied to Palpatine? And if so, with the similarities in the design, is Palpatine tied to Snoke, and then therefore Palpatine is tied to the First Order?
Right.
So that's my line of questioning number one. My line of questioning number two is I've heard that they're Kylo's force.
So are these the Knights of Ren?
No. Like Kylo has the Knights.
Listen, I've already got your Halloween costume picked out here, Bobby.
Is that the Knights of Ren are like his lieutenants, and these Sith troopers are his special crew, like his troops specifically.
Okay. I can
but
see
then
that.
the fact that they're called a Sith trooper, I'm like, why would Kylo call them that?
Maybe this is like one of those names, like these. I'll use a wrestling term. It's a kayfabe name till they release what it actually is. Maybe they're just calling it the Sith Trooper.
But for it to be branded on everything, it's just like, I don't know, man. So if we go down that line of reasoning, then is Kylo trying to become a Sith? And so then if I go down that road, I hit a fork in the road. I'm like, is Kylo trying to become a Sith because he wants to become a Sith? Because I have a hard time with that because he just said it's time for the Sith to die.
Right.
Or is Kylo concerned that he may have to try and go full Sith in order to be in a position to face off with Palpatine?
Or maybe Palpatine has been running Kylo this whole time, and he was actually the one running Snoke.
Maybe. Or maybe the events of the last year have changed Kylo's mind towards the Sith. But any of that they're going to have to kind of explain to me. But then I have a third line of questioning.
Okay.
So my questioning so far, are are these troops the Emperor's? And if so, is the Emperor tied to the First Order? My second question is, are they Kylo's? And if so, what does that name mean to Kylo as a character? And then my third question is this going to tie back to Knights of the Old Republic somehow? Because in Knights of the Old Republic, there were Sith troopers.
Okay.
So with rumors of Knights of the Old Republic stuff on the horizon, is this the connective tissue? You know, that this is something that has always been around that maybe we just haven't seen. And that's kind of where my questions lie regarding this design. And not even so much the design, but the name. It's the name specifically.
It's almost too on the nose, you know.
It has to mean something. Like when you throw that name in there, you have to explain it now.
Right.
You know, they could have called it anything. It could have called, like, they've got plenty of names: snow troopers, flame troopers, biker scouts,
red guys.
You know, like they have. What else do we? Executioner troopers we have now. Like death troopers, scarab troopers, tank troopers. Like we have all these troopers. So to throw that name on there, it has to be for some reason. It has to be, or it's another huge oversight.
Right.
And then let me make sure that we don't have any questions. I want to say we had one, but I will double check because we're recording so early in the week that we may not. Somebody said, shout out to Sky. He said, "Let me get some of that Uncle Dolphin bath water."
Have you heard about that?
Yeah,
that's so
we
silly.
talked about it last week.
Okay.
Yeah. But he said, for this week's question, I'd love to hear who your favorite 30K and 40K characters are. Also, any recommendations on good Warhammer novels? So what do you got?
So mine is that one guy that's got the animal pelts around his waist that Adam recently painted.
Lehman, is that Lehman Russ? I don't know. I know Adam likes Lehman Russ.
Lehman Russ sounds like an investment firm in New York. You can trust Lehman Russ with your retirement investment.
Dude, you can trust Lehman Russ.
And yeah, I'm going to say the horsehair heresy because that's all I've ever heard them talk about.
Yeah, well, I guess that's kind of like the horse heresy. I guess it's like
it's not horsehair.
No, not.
Oh fuck!
It's the horsehair sea. It's a sea,
horsehair sea, gotcha.
Of just filled with horsehair.
Horsehair,
like you have to swim through it from coast to coast.
Total sidebar. I was riding with someone from a dealer with my job. Not that kind of dealer, although we were in Baltimore, so it could have been that kind of dealer, but it wasn't. There's a place called Valley Proteins in Baltimore. And I got no heads up on what this was. This is where you bring your horse when it dies. There's just dead horses laying everywhere.
Really?
It smells great, let me tell you.
I'm sure.
You drive around back, there's just stacks of pelts. So apparently they part out horses and ship
part out.
Yeah,
this
literally.
Guy needs an ankle.
Literally.
Wow.
I mean, take the hooves and send them. And
wow.
And it's in like Baltimore proper. Valley Proteins, if you ever want to have a fun experience.
Jeez Louise.
But I bet you they have a horsehair sea.
See?
Yeah.
So it's like Noah's Ark or the Genesis in the Bible. Like it's just the main story. You know what I mean? Like it's where everything comes from.
I got you.
And I guess I like the characters kind of surrounding that. I like all the characters like well enough, but I don't know if there's ever been any character that I'm like, this is my fucking guy. Yeah. You know. There was like the Space Wolf Dreadnought guy. I know his name, Bjorn, maybe. I don't know, but
I can't disagree with you.
In my head, I want to call him Bjork, and I know that's not right because she wears swans.
She does wear swans and says some wild stuff.
I fuck with Bjork though. Let me now Boogie's calling this. Is he here? Hey. You're live on Nerve Rage.
Oh. Well, I got my car.
Okay.
Well, I don't have the car.
Right.
I got the key to the car.
Right.
But like $1,300, and he was like, "All right, $778." I was like, "Okay."
Wow.
I don't know what happened, but that makes me very happy.
Yeah, that's a nice chunk of change to be relieved of.
Oh, anyway. All right, I'm racing back to work, but that's all. I
All
just thought I would share some good news since I'm so good at sharing the bad news.
Okay. Chris was wondering, since the hemorrhoids were gone, if ass-eating season has returned.
I definitely did not ask that question, Laura. Definitely did not.
Oh God. Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing great, Laura. I've just been so busy, but I've been doing great.
All right.
All right.
I'll talk to you later. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Um,
You guys are wild. Like there's a season for it.
yeah. So her another thing that happened this week is her car started smoking.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Did you try the patches first, or like go straight to the
No,
jewels?
It's vaping.
Vaping.
We share the same.
Yeah, you say, "Come here."
I'm down to 7, by the way, now.
I don't know what that means.
Milligrams of nicotine.
Okay.
So like I've been going down kind of one thing at a time. I was at 12 for years, and I'm now at 7.
Oh.
So next time I re-up, I will have cut my nicotine intake in half.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
You feel
not
any
too bad.
different?
No, it's
Yeah,
been so
that's-
gradual.
that's good.
You know,
And is that per pull or puff
I guess
or whatever
I guess
you call it?
per tank. You know. Like,
Oh, okay.
But the tanks, I haven't like my tank usage hasn't gone up. you
Okay.
know, like, so what was I gonna say?
Her car was smoking.
Yeah.
And I made a bad.
Yes. No. It was a good joke. And then, so we took it to the shop, and we bought this wrap. You heard the story about the wrap? We bought the wrap.
No.
Okay. So when we bought her car, I hate fucking car dealerships, man. Like,
Yeah, I'm not
dude,
a
I'll
fan.
only buy from CarMax now.
My wife's she buys my cars.
I can't.
She's a pit bull.
I can't deal with the hustle and bustle. I always feel like I'm getting fucked.
Let me go check my manager. If there is no manager, I'm gonna go piss and smoke a cigarette, and then come back and take a note.
Yes. So, we sit down to do the warranty bit. I bought this from a friend of mine's father. So
Okay.
it's supposed to be the end. It's supposed to be all sorted. It's still fucking a hustle.
Was this one from CarMax or was this
no,
a dealership?
no, this
proper?
is a dealership because CarMax doesn't hustle.
Right.
The
Right.
price is the price.
Yeah.
So we go in and they're trying to sell me the warranty and the fucking leather cleaning package and all this fucking shit, which I didn't buy any of, but we did buy the warranty. Now he was like, he's like, you can buy this and it covers XYZ, and you can buy this and it covers XYZ, or you can get, and he like wrote down on the paper, the wrap, THEWRAP, and then circled it. And he was like, this covers, and then he circled the whole vehicle. He's like, everything. If you get this, it covers this. If you get this, it covers this. But what you might want to really consider is, and he writes it down again, the wrap. Circles the car again. Circles the wrap again. And I'm like, wait, I'm confused.
Lay it out for me one more time.
I'm like, what you're saying is this covers this and this covers this. But what I want to get is the wrap, and I wrote down the RAP with a question mark. And
Did you really?
yeah. And
Oh,
I
my
and I
goodness.
like looked at him like, huh? Like, is it the wrap? And he looked at me like I was the biggest idiot in the world. And he's like, no, it's the wrap. And like he goes to write it again. And my wife is like, he's fucking with you. So anyway. So we got the wrap. It didn't cover, obviously, as you heard, all the shit.
Right.
Thought we had to cover $1,300 of it. Turns out we only had to cover $700 and some,
Oh,
which is still a fucking kick in the dick. But it's better than fucking $1,300
Exactly.
every day of the week. So I guess she's got her car sorted. So I got to go take her up there later on, which sucks because I like to have a drink after this show. It's like a tradition.
Right.
Now I have to do some driving, so that's out. Sith Trooper, I think we're covered there. We had that one question, 40K heresy or horse heresy. That's got to be the name, I think. I was going to call it Booked as Sith or Busy as Sith. Maybe I'll try to combine them somehow.
Booked and busy.
Yeah, but the all the characters that are kind of in the Horus heresy. There's a character named Horus, and he was a heretic.
Okay.
You know, but all the characters that are kind of in that story, I like how all those little pieces play together. You know, that's what they should make the movies on, and then they should be done. You know,
Yeah.
but you know, like Adam and Joe were like, no, they needs to be on and on, and maybe it does. But that's that. If they could find a way to boil that shit down, you don't need all the side shit. Just there's like the Emperor, Horus, and Sanguinus, like those three. You know, if you make those three the three main characters, you know, you'll be fine. I think that's my own personal take. Like if you know, because like all this shit, this huge, big, epic shit, all of it gets boiled down to three characters. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that's just the nature of the beast. So anyway. And many have done it, you know,
Yeah.
successfully.
But it's never going to be right. It doesn't matter who it's for.
Right, for the Epic fan, it'll never be
or
right.
for you.
I think for me it could be. I think for me it could be.
You bowled it too long.
Because I don't have a whole lot. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, just get it close.
The meat's stringy.
Yeah. Let's see. We got another question just in the nick of time from James, and it is our rapid fire as well. So let me make sure there's not a Paul C got a question in. Oh yeah, this was last week also. Time travel with me, if you will. Think back to your childhood and the time you spent at the arcade. What sounds are you hearing? Do you hear the clinking of tokens from those coin-pushing games that get you tickets? Was it the skee balls releasing and the K chunking so you could start to roll the balls? Or did you hang out by the video games? Are there specific sounds that immediately take you back? Is it get over here? Or maybe Hadouken? Or maybe, oh, jams it in? Or was it maybe Colossus? What sounds do you immediately associate with your childhood in the arcade? I thought it might be interesting to hear all your responses. When I was a kid, you know, we did like the Chuck E. Cheese, like what we did Showbiz because it was ghetto.
Oh, well, no, we had Showbiz too.
Oh, nice, because like here is like
say it's your birthday.
The Showbiz was in Laurel and the Chuck E. Cheese was like in Montgomery County, so it was like like I was a Laurel kid,
right? I mean, there's a whole other conversation about Chuck E. Cheese, and there's a Chuck E. Cheese convention.
Really?
I stumbled upon it the other day.
No shit.
I have this whole shtick about. I shouldn't probably. It's this whole shtick about reasons you shouldn't let me in Chuck E. Cheese. You know.
Oh, right.
Hey, can you see this ankle monitor under my sweatpants? right. And let's see. How often do y'all sanitize the ball pit? And do all the kids get stamps?
I love the one here.
Hang
have
on,
you
there's,
been?
there's two more.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Do y'all have cameras in the bathroom?
Okay, good.
And can I park my van around back? The last one is, hey, if I've been banned from one Chuck E. Cheese, does that mean I'm banned from all of them?
Yeah. The one here locally has like the no handgun sign, like as soon as you come in.
Yeah.
But I remember going all the time, and that's where I played like the ticket prizes shit,
right?
You know, because you try to get the little bullshit prizes.
Oh, absolutely.
And then I can distinctly remember like the balls being released in the skee ball slide. But shortly after my Chuck E. Cheese, Showbiz era, I was just a strictly arcade, kid. And I don't know if I always go back to this. I'll tell you what sound I immediately think of is the tokens being released in the converter, like you put in the $20 and you get 30 tokens or whatever.
Right.
And the sound of people who put their token in and the shit didn't register right and they're hitting that fucking release button to like send the token back.
Yeah, I can hear that sound too.
Yeah, those are like the ones that stick out. And the sound of a quarter going up on the screen. Like the
I got next one.
Yeah. But I tell you, to this day, I've never experienced anything like Mortal Kombat 2 in the arcade. Like, I just never seen anything like it before or after, like where people were lined up around to play. It had a crowd watching that had no intention of playing, just wanted to watch the game be played.
I remember that. I never got into Mortal Kombat. My brother did. And I remember taking him up to, it's actually a strip club now, but it was an arcade at the time. Pool hall. It was basically a pool hall that had a bunch of video games. So there was the guys smoking cigarettes in the back and then the kids playing video games. Real, safe space. But yeah, it was the same. I take him with for tournaments and stuff, and that game was pretty important, I guess, to a lot of people.
It's huge.
I remember when it wasn't Street Fighter, it was Street Fighter when it was just Ken Ryu.
I don't even remember that.
I remember.
I have no point of reference for that game.
I can walk into this fucking timeout in Madison
we had a timeout.
Square Mall, which all of it is demolished now. I mean, it's all gone. Kind of heartbreaking. I could walk right to where it was in the corner. It was a huge cabinet, had a wider play base. And I knew I had no business dropping a quarter on that desk. So I watched, and these guys were. And I remember the big thing was, I did it cold. I beat everybody cold. Like I didn't use fire. I didn't throw a fireball. Really? Okay.
I told you, like when at the height of like Mortal Kombat 2 and 3, my buddy Anthony Adams used to go up there with me to a pool hall, and we were like and one with Mortal Kombat. Like I would hit him with a combo and spin off the game, and he'd come back in and hit him with the combo and spin on. We always played together as a team against everybody, and then we used to play for a quarter, like and play for hours because nobody could beat us. Like we had gotten so good.
I remember. I think it was like right after 8th grade because we go into high school, everything's going to be different. So it was me and a group of guys that I promise you, I don't think I ever hung out with again after that. We went to timeout and we all brought a roll of quarters. Like, we're going to beat this fucking Turtles in time, and we did. I just have that as a memory.
I remember doing that too. You know what's funny with the X-Men one? I remember there was like the one that had 4, and then there was the one that had 6.
Yes.
And like you found the one that had 6, and you got like a whole team playing. That shit felt great.
Right. That was a lot of fun. Same with, the Turtles was cool when you could have all 4. And
yeah.
The Simpsons game, I think those all ran on the same engine.
Yeah, definitely 100% ran on the same engine.
Bad Dudes is another one I remember.
I don't remember that one.
Bad Dudes was a side scroller. Data East made it. It was very, it was very Contra, but you're on the street,
right? Gotcha.
Kind of vibe. And I remember some of the noises from that.
And then the James question, and that'll wrap it up. He said, "What up, guys? Joe, Bobby, talk me off the statue ledge." And he sent a picture of, I'm waiting for it to download, Berserk, HQS plus Guts and Griffith. That shit looks fucking cool. From I don't know this brand. Sasumi.
James, I know I'm not the guy you wanted to hear from, but I've talked myself out of the statue game. I'm not doing it. I'm just not going to do it. I just don't see. I don't see the enjoyment.
You sound like you're being firm with yourself. I'm just not going to do it.
No, I'm not. I mean, I've looked at some stuff, and listen, there's some Batman stuff I'd love to have, but I just can't justify spending the money. It's not that I don't have the money. I would rather buy other stuff.
Yeah. I'm just not sure if there's other stuff I'd rather buy at this point. Honestly.
Yeah, I could see that. And that's. I mean, but me and you are different. I have a desk full of figures that I fuck with constantly, and you don't. You look at stuff and might fuck with it occasionally, but
yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I do.
Yeah.
He says, I want this. I'm sure I can make it happen with some extra hours at my side job, but damn, it's not a cost issue. It's more of a logistics issue. I get it. I got to make sure my girl is on board, create a sturdy, safe display space. It's like a new game that I really want to play, but may not have the skills yet. That's real.
Yeah.
Like, because that's where I find myself. And, like, I've kind of been thinking, to kind of change some things up a little bit, like with these last 2 spaces I have kind of readily available. And I think I'm going to do Maja cases there at the vent, and move a lot of my 1/6 stuff into them. And I'm thinking like teams, like Avengers, Justice League,
right.
Original trilogy, sequel trilogy, prequel trilogy, like that would probably do it. But how much space that would alleviate, and then to do quarter scale just in that one select spot, and when it's done, it's done. And,
right.
So he says, this week's question: what's a story you want more but will never get, whether it be the author or actor died, creative differences, are just not interesting enough to others to warrant creation? Your choice can be from any form of entertainment: games, films, books, toys, etc. My example would be Bill and Bud from the Kill Bill movies. That opening scene where Bill and Bud are talking is one of my favorite film scenes, and just makes me want to know more about their relationship and misadventures that led them to where they ended up at the beginning of the second film. But I'll never get it because it's probably not interesting to the rest of the world. And David Carradine's death?
Carradine.
Carradine. Okay, yeah. I'll tell you what comes to mind instantly. Ghostbusters 3 is never going to happen. You know what I mean? Properly anyway, because the dude died.
One that comes to mind instantly for me is Heath Ledger's Joker. What could have been there? How many movies would we have gotten out of that if he hadn't had his untimely demise?
Do you not always think of, there was like that rumor that was in Dark Knight Rises, there was supposed to be a scene with Batman and Joker that was like a Silence of the Lambs situation where he was trying to figure out Bane and was talking to Joker through the glass to try to figure him out.
Wow.
Like, I would have given my left nut for that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another thing I would love to see happen, that like I just don't know if they'll ever do it, but like if Hasbro had like a streaming service or whatever, or like, whoever is Paramount, I guess, is,
right. I think so, yeah.
I would love to see an anime. I mean, I could even see it on Netflix. They have a deal with Netflix, obviously. I would love to see like an animated season or 2 or 3 that filled in the G1 gap from season 2 to the movie.
Yeah, because there's, technically, 20 years there, give or take? Yeah.
I'd love to see that area fleshed out.
Has any of the comics ever tackled that?
No, there was a rumor that they wanted to, and I think they got I think the Transmission podcast guys got a petition going at some point. But I mean, it's just like any other petition; it doesn't mean fucking anything other than people want it. But fuck what you want, you know. Right. I mean, and that's not a knock to them. It's just that's how the world is.
Exactly.
But I would love to see that fleshed out, and I would love to see it in an animated, to kind of have it and I would like to see it done in the same way, as if it was found in a dirty desk or something, even put some of the spots and grains in it, like that would be the way to do it, in my opinion. And those are the two things that stick out. So here is the rapid fire for this week: DuckTales or Darkwing Duck? DuckTales. Launchpad McQuack or Gizmo Duck?
Launchpad. Yeah.
Driving road rage song, Move Bitch or I Can't Drive 55?
Move Bitch.
Move Bitch. Legs or breasts, chicken or ladies? I'll leave it to your interpretation.
I'm just going to go with breasts, cover all the bases on that one.
So they don't for me.
Okay.
Legs for the ladies, breasts for the chicken.
Fair enough.
Actually, it's funny, speaking of breasts, there's a lot of times they don't hit, it's just not a thing for me.
Really?
I mean, I'd rather have them than not have them, of course, but they're really an afterthought. And the older I get, the more of an afterthought they become.
Really?
Yeah, and I've gotten nastier, in my older age of I'm like, oh, let me see what that monkey looks like.
Right?
I've gotten nasty. But but sometimes we'll interact with someone at a kiosk or whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. And we'll walk away and Laura will be like, God, her tits were huge. And I'll be like, really? She's like, yeah, you didn't. They almost knocked you over. You didn't see them. I'm like, I didn't. I couldn't even tell you.
Really?
Yeah, couldn't give you any form of. I guess if you're in a bathing suit or something, I would notice. But unless it's really all arrows are pointing to them, you know what I mean? I'm not. Yeah, I'm not necessarily gonna check them out. But I'll see your legs if they're available. If you got a skirt on or one of those, even those this season, those long dresses are in, but they got that cut that goes way up the side.
Sure.
I'm about that life. I like you're hiding enough and you're showing enough. I like that. All right. Formula One or NASCAR?
NASCAR.
Yeah, you better say NASCAR. I'm gonna say Formula One, but I don't give a fuck about either. But I would be very disappointed.
NASCAR
if you
tells, in my opinion, NASCAR tells a better story for you to keep up with.
Probably. I don't know enough. I just think the cars in Formula One look cooler.
Right. That's fair.
Let's see. Preferred Ryu antagonist, Sagat or Akuma? Sagat for me.
Sagat for me, yeah.
Color of your lightsaber?
That's a good one. I'm going to probably go with I'm going to go with blue.
I would too. Chuck Norris or Bruce Lee? Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
But Delta Force is up there for me. Pork or beef ribs?
Probably beef. No,
beef.
Pork for me.
Beef for me. Thundercracker or Mirage? Both had reasons and a few continuities for not wanting to join their respective causes.
You better say Mirage because you said Formula One a minute ago.
Yes, but Thundercracker doesn't turn into a NASCAR.
They did that later though.
I'll go with Thundercracker because I like him. I like the Seekers in G1 in general, but I like him in IDW a lot. At least when I was reading it, before it got kind of out of the hands of the creators and into the hands of the toys.
Yeah.
Frosted Flakes or Lucky Charms?
Ooh.
That's gonna hurt for you, isn't it?
What,
you got skin in the game,
so to speak. Probably gonna go with Lucky Charms on that.
Yeah, me too. Cooler Highlander, Connor or Duncan?
Whichever
Connor
one.
is film, Duncan is TV.
Oh, Christopher Lambert, whichever that is, because I don't know. I don't think I've seen the second of it.
I've never seen it.
My wife loves Highlander because her dad growing up watched it constantly. But
yeah.
I've never seen. I don't know that I've ever seen a moment. I know Sean Connery is in the movie.
I know that Queen did a song for it.
Really?
Yeah. The one of my favorite Queen songs. Oh no, you know what? I might be wrong about it. It might be one of those Mandela effects, but I'm pretty sure that The Show Must Go On is associated with Highlander in some regard.
You ever seen the movie I can't remember his name. Never mind, I blew it. I'll come back to it. Which Sinbad plays a genie.
Oh yeah. Say that Megatron and Optimus are getting a complete overhaul in design. What to you is more defining that they must have in a new design? Head, face shape, or the weapons, ion blaster, and fusion cannon?
It's going to be the head face shape.
Yeah, for me too. However, it's easier. That's an easier answer for me for Optimus than it is for Megatron. Like for Optimus, it's like that's easy. Like it's the head and the chest are the most. For Megatron, it's like the head is a thing for sure, the bucket head, but that fusion cannon is like a super defining element. It's more defining to him than the ion blaster is for.
Well, yeah, you're right about that.
Murder, She Wrote or Magnum P.I.?
Magnum P.I.
I'll go with Murder, She Wrote. My grandma used to watch it. I used to watch it with her. Forge World IG choice. So I really want to get your opinion on this, Chris. Death Corps or Krieg? Death Corps of Krieg or Elysian Drop Troopers.
Well, I don't even know what the fuck that means.
Yeah, me neither. Would you rather be a sand trooper or snow trooper?
Oh, Jesus. That sucks. I'm probably gonna go with snow trooper because you can probably regulate the temperature a little better in that suit than
and it's probably like not as.
And you know what they say about sand, Bobby?
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
I'll go with you on that. I'll probably say that's the best. That's the best choice. However, you know what's funny? It's only in my older age that I really thought about the sand troopers kind of being there all the time. When I was a kid, I kind of felt like they were just deployed for this mission. And that was
they've been there for years.
Yeah.
They've been there since.
All right. Let's see.
But just to go back to that for a minute. You know, say you're a sand trooper, you're walking around the sand all day, and what do you do? Wherever you go back to base or whatever. I mean, you're gonna I'd be picking sand out of your ass forever, right? I mean, the snow troopers, you think you're gonna go in, they might have some coffee for you or whatever, warm you up a little bit. Yeah, I think you might get a little more sympathy from the people who aren't.
And I don't think you're gonna be all that cold.
Right, and here's my other question: is if you're a snow trooper, is that all you ever do? You're just the snow trooper, or when you're not being a snow trooper, do you be the guy running around aimlessly on the Death Star, or do they send you to be a sand trooper?
Yeah, that's true.
Or is it tours of duty?
It like special forces?
Right? Is it like specifically? I work in the snow. Do not ask me to go in your sand.
I wonder if it's harder to see at it, if the guys in the culture, you know what I mean, like in the world and universe, would be like, oh god, I gotta go to Hoth. I'm being detailed to Hoth. And they're like, oh yeah, but at least you're not with me on Tatooine. I've been there for fucking 10 years and it's fucking trash. Like yeah, like but what you're not thinking about is it's harder to see out of those snowtrooper lenses and yeah. I would love to see like a comedy.
I'm telling you, man, there's so many different angles they could take.
Let's see. Falcor from Neverending Story or Appa from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Out of principle, I'm going to go with the first one.
Yeah, me too. Smoke or Reptile?
The lizard dude.
I'll go with Smoke. Marlon Wayne's worst film flop. G.I. Joe as Ripcord or Dungeons and Dragons as Snails?
I forgot he was even in a Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Me too. It's definitely Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I'll go with that one.
Curb Your Enthusiasm or Seinfeld? Curb Your Enthusiasm for me.
Man, it depends. But I'll say Seinfeld because just I know the catalog better.
Anyone getting that HasLab Unicron? What would you like to have?
First I've heard.
So we just answered this. He said, I want a Blackbird that can hold 6 Marvel Legends. So yeah, see? Called it. And I think that'll do it. Shout out to whoever's on the show anymore.
I'll tell you, summer times are tough for podcasting. I know on Enter the Realm, we've had challenges with staff in the summertime. So we actually last summer we had a summer stand-in event. We just had different people, and I know logistically it's challenging here, but hey, at least there's 4 of us here, so we can normally at least have 2 people to talk to each other.
Do you ever have offer overtime for your staffing issues? Like just
no, we never do that. So we have a pretty wide net we can cast. So.
I'll do overtime here. I'll pay you time and a half.
I'm down, man. That sounds like 0 times 1.5 is. Zero. The coffee's warm, though.
Yes, the coffee is warm.
No matter how many cups you drink.
That is true. We got a new Keurig. Did you notice?
I did not.
Yeah, the other one finally was
How long had you had it?
Probably 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
So we're on our either 3rd or 4th Keurig.
Yeah.
And my wife always seems to buy the one that's got some sort of warranty, so it starts acting up. It's the WRAPP. PP. Extra P stands for value. That's a Malcolm in the Middle joke. I don't know if you might get that.
But, no, but that's good.
Yeah. But yeah, we use ours. I think ours has got you can do the carafe too. Like you can do like a big.
Oh, really?
But I never did. It's too complicated.
You ever do a latte? Can you do a latte?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have all that like
fancy
whooshing
Whoa.
You like my coffee noises? And then I look like I'm skiing. I don't know what's happening. I don't pay attention at Starbucks. I just hand me my coffee.
And write your name on it.
I like iced coffee, just cold coffee.
Do you?
Because I'm a terrorist, apparently, some people. But,
Yeah.
Kelly found these Dunkin' bags. You just soak them overnight in cold water in the refrigerator and then add water in the morning, and it's great.
Yeah, I can't do iced coffee.
That's what I do, especially this time of year. Like if hey, you want a coffee? Give me. And it's hard to fuck up a black iced coffee. You know, it's very.
You said a black iced coffee. Black.
Yeah, I'll put that with the nickels from episode. Black iced coffee that only costs a nickel.
I got the nickel and pet from MMC. Their IDW DJD.
Okay, yeah, I'm familiar with what
$125.
Yeah,
that set.
Yeah,
it's fucking trash.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Are they tiny?
They're small. They're not tiny. They're small. The nickel is tiny, but
does that go back to that rabid fan base of theirs?
Dude, I guess so. They, I rarely feel like I got like totally taken for a ride.
Right.
I really feel like I got taken for a ride on this set. It's not.
But is that everybody though? Or there's still the big guy to come out.
No, the two big guys.
Two big guys.
Yeah, these guys aren't even really fucking. They're like I call them in the review, and I'm saying this because Patreon folks get it, but the review goes up Wednesday, and then the show comes out Thursday. But like the big guys are like accessories to the DJD. I mean, the little guys. Like this set. This set. It's not like they're proper team members. They're like accessories to the team.
So this has taken. I don't ever want to hear anything about anybody else taking forever because when I first started making dioramas, like 4 or 5 years ago, I sent you a piece really early on, and that was for your DJD. That's still not complete.
Yeah.
That's crazy to talk about.
Yeah. I probably should have done a first impressions video for that set, now that I think about it. But they're just so, they don't even seem like a proper figure. You know what I mean? Like, I just wasn't even thinking about it, because it's like, I feel like I bought an upgrade set.
Sure.
Like a DJD upgrade set.
That's
for $125.
It's crazy they didn't just like throw one of each of them in with the big guys and charge you an extra $20.
Now that would have been smart. That would have been smart. I'm going to steal that.
They didn't ask me. So.
I'm going to edit that out and then steal it as my own idea.
Yeah, that's fine. You can steal it from me.
So shout out to the rest of the cast, Joe and Adam, or Joe. I don't know if Adam's part of the show anymore. He's, as he said.
I mean, he's busy too, Bobby.
Yes, everybody's very busy.
He's very busy.
And shout out to Raul on Instagram. I think, Raul, did you start posting? I got to check. Shout out to Marilyn Phil on Twitter and Mr. Manny behind the scenes doing stuff. Dante the Destroyer is handling our Facebook. And Gort is co-hosting Force Sensitive. Episode 3 just dropped this past weekend, so I hope you check that out. Mike Honcho, really interesting dude, and a good podcast voice. And shout out to the rest of the Cool Table, Shadowcast Uncut, End of the Realm, Beer and Bolters, 30, 40, 20, 60K, and 401K as well. And
it's about painting miniatures and saving for retirement.
Plastic Fanatics, I think, maybe, and Toy Detox, and building up to it, Breaking the Mold, and Fresh Communications, and Verbally Challenged.
Don't forget Stasis Lock.
And Stasis Lock. A lot of those guys. A lot of those guys went up to TFCon.
I had no idea that I didn't know Gort was going. I don't know. It didn't come up in conversation recently. I didn't know Chuck was going, and
I guess Chuck lives close.
He said it was a 5-hour drive, so it's just as close as it is here. It's not closer. So Kelly and I talked about going up there, but
we did too. But then they announced Reston.
Right. I wanted to say, hey, remember all you guys that were going to go to TFCon Toronto? How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, I put in to have off for that weekend in case we were going.
We talked about it at one point.
But no, then they announced Reston. It's like, for what?
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I got a lot of people PM me like, are you going to go? Are you going? And I was like, dude, if I'm going, you'll know.
Right. Well, I had people, are you guys doing a rock box for Toronto? I'm like, no, we're not. We never have. There's not enough people there to support it.
Yeah.
So
this and I don't know, this might be our last one this year.
As retailers think so.
We're not sure. It depends. I think I'll say this. We will probably not leave the East Coast any longer for the show.
I can see that. And I'll tell you, my wife does the etched glasses. That's etchboxcustoms.com. And she's going to be gearing up here soon to get started to build inventory for TFCon in Reston. But like, she's not going to NJCC. She says it's not worth the trouble to set up for one day. She doesn't want to do any other show. She's not doing Baltimore this year.
Yeah, I'm not doing Baltimore either. I'm not doing Baltimore because it's too close. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, October is going to be a very challenging logistic month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tends to be.
I
I think that's it. With that,
Tasty taint.
tight dick player.